probably do that after the podcast.
Okay, let's do that. Hey guys, welcome to 4Player Podcast, episode 351. It is February 18th, 2014. I'm Nick Henderson.
February is now legal.
Yeah, you're right. Brad Simons.
18 days is legal.
Oh, ew. Whoa.
For a month. They mature very quickly.
That was
Jesus
a gross
Christ,
realization there. Thank you, Crispy. Nolan
How's it going,
Hedstrom is
guys?
joining us.
Yep.
And Christopher Guthridge.
Hello.
And
What?
so
I was just
you
saying hello.
you caught me off guard there. Anyways, we have a lot to talk about today, guys. Thank you for joining us. We're gonna be talking about this week was actually a pretty big week games wise.
Dense.
I didn't really quite expect we'd get so much time in playing Titanfall, but we're gonna talk about Titanfall. We've all been playing the beta at least a little bit.
Titanfall.
And I'm pretty sure our plan after the show is, since it's kind of a special occasion, the Titanfall beta actually ends tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be doing the Titanfall beta for New Release Tuesday. So we'll hang out together for a little while after the podcast recording and record that, put it up on YouTube tomorrow. And we'll talk about Lightning Returns, Jazzpunk, a few other things. Oh, that sweet Last of Us DLC that Crispy didn't play.
Shame,
Hey,
shame,
no,
shame,
no,
shame,
no,
shame, shame.
no. I made a
Shame,
noble
Ray.
sacrifice in not buying The Last of Us DLC because of Valentine's Day. Spent a lot of money on Valentine's Day. So.
You know what? That DLC came out
Spent
on
a lot of money
Valentine's
on
Day. It was a
Hearthstone.
Valentine's Day.
A Valentine's Day.
Damn it. Every single show, I have to have some kind of Freudian slip that's just terrible.
That's
Hey,
that's the show
Crispy.
title. What's
Was
up?
Valentine's Day expensive, or was Valentine's Day plus Hearthstone expensive?
I have not spent a single red cent on Hearthstone. Okay.
Just lots of blue
Do
cents.
not. I will not.
How much was that World of Warcraft
and
pet?
take
Huh?
these
How
accusations?
much was that
from
WoW
you?
pet that you bought?
I didn't. Dude, I haven't even.
Oh, no, I already broke my
since last
kazoo.
week, so
See?
No, wait, I didn't. I saved it. I almost lost a little piece of paper.
doing better than
I'm sure
no
you
one.
could just cut out some fucking,
wax paper.
wax paper and throw it
I'm
in
sure
there.
that's exactly what they did.
I'm sure that's
Probably.
too much work.
There's somebody in the back room who just cuts out little wax paper circles.
Oh man, that'd be the worst
I'm pretty sure
job.
they probably have like a giant hole punch.
That would be the worst job
It's
ever.
expensive.
Pretty sure they're hand cut by young Chinese people.
Well, they come from what was it?
China.
Nodang, Ningbo,
What?
Ningbo, China.
Yours specifies the
Mine says-
city?
I don't
Oh,
think
wait.
there's a kazoo on the planet that's not made in China.
Made in Ningbo, China, 020-02913, ring code 02720.
Thank you, Crispy, for that. Anyways, for those people who wonder what the fuck we're talking about, as promised a few weeks ago during subscriber night, we promised everybody we would get kazoos that we would play when people subscribe, and
Kazoo.
we have delivered.
We seriously need to work on like a kazoo tune
Like,
that we
yeah,
do.
so
We need to.
Subscriber.
We could like harmonize it.
Oh man, we could like practice. We'd be like a barbershop quartet. Where we're just,
Don't mention barbershop quartets. Fuck.
like a
Why?
fucking round.
Does it like cut
one
a
of us
hole in your
would
heart?
lead in, and then the others.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think the little paper.
Did you
just
swallow
went in
it?
my mouth. Huh. Oh no, there it is. Yeah. But it definitely went.
You
in
did eat yours.
Did I? Like
It was like one of those
I was
little
using
strips.
I was using the kazoo and then it was gone, but the cap
Dude,
never came
dude,
off,
it-
and I have a funny feeling in my throat.
I wouldn't.
Wait,
dude!
go-
I wouldn't be surprised if you swallowed it. You swallowed it, dude.
I might have.
Nolan swallowed a piece of wax paper.
Your voice does sound kind of kazooey. Banjo kazooey.
I don't want to like throw up if I try and like reach back there and get it out.
What are we talking about? Is this our podcast?
This is our podcast.
Is this what we do?
This is our
Can we talk
351st
about a game?
podcast. Yeah, I guess. Hey, can we have a moment of silence for Nolan's PS3 that died this week?
Oh, I thought we were gonna say irrational.
We'll have that in the second segment.
Okay,
Thanks
okay.
for spoiling the second
Yeah.
segment, Brad.
Way to go! Now we have nothing
Well,
to talk
all,
about.
All
in the
you
second
said,
segment.
all Brad said was that was an irrational statement, Nick.
Oh,
That's all
my
he
bad.
said.
For your PS3.
My PS3.
I'm
died.
slowly realizing that the Freudian slip I had a minute ago was actually quite appropriate. I'm just
Gay.
gay. Yeah, on Friday I was excited, and I went home because the Last of Us 1.06 patch was coming out.
This was also
Valentine's Day.
was that Friday?
Yeah.
Oh, didn't this happen on?
Maybe it happened Thursday then. Yeah, that's right. It happened Thursday
Yeah,
because
Thursday was
Your
Nolan's.
PS3 couldn't stand to go through another Valentine's Day alone, could it?
No, it was
So
Nolan's
it's a-
birthday on Thursday.
Yeah. So I got home and I was excited, and Jaeger got on, and Chai got on, I think Koya got on, and we were searching for a match, and all of a sudden my TV I just went this like weird fucking lines and shit. And I was like, oh, the game crashed, ha ha ha. And so I turned off my PS3 and I turned it back on, but it didn't come back on. And,
Oh man! And he texted me on the way home. He's like, "Hey, you're broadcasting tonight, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "What are you playing?" And I was like, "Persona." And he's like, "No, you're not."
No,
I was
you're
like,
not.
No. So
Not so
I had
fast,
this
Nick.
short moment of panic, thinking to myself, "Oh God, my Persona game save is probably gone."
How far in are you?
18 hours or so.
Mhm.
Pretty good chunk. And I told everybody straight up on Twitter and in chat, I was like, "Look, guys, if we can't salvage this save data, I'm not starting over." Chai, though, was it Chai? I think it was Chai. Chai got on Twitter and he was like, if you lose that save data, I will watch every broadcast you've done and I will recreate your save file and get you back to that point.
Does he really
That's-
like that?
That's
No, I know
crazy.
Chai really does like the game.
So
though.
he seemed
People who like Persona 4 love Persona.
Yeah.
he seemed pretty dead set on making sure I continue playing this. Luckily, Nolan did the
So J52 suggested the hair dryer trick,
Yeah.
and I did it, and it worked. And technically, my PS3 is still working, but who knows how long it'll last.
Yeah.
So I ended up buying a new PS3 because I had a gift card, and Walmart had one on sale and stuff. And
you got one of them
super slims.
super slims.
It hurts though, man. Like, why couldn't the PS4 just be backwards compatible?
right?
Son of a bitch.
And so I got a new one, and so I got all my saves off. And the thing is, it's not back since you can't, not the Super Slim isn't backwards compatible for the PS2.
Yeah.
But I was since I have I have one of those memory card adapters for the PS3.
He has
Oh,
one of
really?
those.
Yeah.
He had one of those
Oh.
ancient memory card adapters.
Oh man, let me borrow
I didn't even
that.
Yeah,
know
you
there
can borrow
was
it.
such a thing.
Yeah, no, because I got it for free.
What is it, like a USB? To
Yeah, all it
memory
is a
card?
little box that plugs into a USB, and you can put PS2 memory cards.
I
in
can
it.
put my Dark Cloud save on my PS3 so I can play it.
Yeah.
On my PS3.
What?
That's pretty legit, and so thankfully I had that, and I've only used it once before, and so now I had another chance to use it because I got it for free when I worked at Sears because they were going to throw it away. Or
So
something for some
it
reason. But
seems like we have my save data.
yeah. So if we get our PS2 hookup working, we can
So
continue with that.
You're not getting out of Persona 4 that easily.
No, I probably there'll probably be at least a week of downtime on Persona. I won't be able to play it this week because I broadcast tomorrow. We have to wait for an adapter to come in. So I guess tomorrow night I'll be playing. I think I've decided I'm playing Bravely Default because I just haven't had a. Did you finally swallow your wax
I don't
paper,
know.
Nolan?
Do you have some water, Red? Like I don't know if it's one of those.
Now you're paranoid.
Yeah, I think
Mexican cane
I
cola.
think it's one of those irrational feelings where it's like I
Irrational?
think something is in the back of my throat, and therefore like it feels like it's back there.
It's usually after you have male sex, though.
Nolan.
oral sex.
Nolan gargles.
Ah!
Confirmed.
It's cold. Can we talk about a video game, please?
I guess.
This
Well, we're
podcast-
talking about video
like,
games.
So let's go ahead and transition to Titanfall.
We have a lot to talk.
We have as you can see above our heads, we have an overlay.
Oh, and that giant Titan up there.
All right, guys.
So,
Wow.
I honestly I didn't know a whole lot about Titanfall before I got into the beta, and I want to thank
weren't you surprised that there are robots in it?
Yeah, no. So the funny thing is Crispy came over on Sunday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Saturday.
We were hanging out for my birthday, and he was like, "Hey, did you get in the Titanfall beta?" And I was like, "You know what? Let me check." And so I opened my email, and it's like Titanfall beta, and I'm like, "Oh, sweet! I got an email." And the domain's from AOL.
Yeah, it wasn't
I was
from
like so
Respawn.
fucking confused, and then I was like, "Oh, a chatter sent me their beta key. Maybe they got two. I don't know." Thankfully, I don't want to say his name because he didn't give me his chatter name.
But whoever that was, thank you.
Yeah, I do it. I don't want to say it. I know his email, but I'm not going to say that out loud. But thankfully, so I was able to play some, and I honestly had not seen too much of Titanfall. I knew there were Titans, and I knew, there were guys running
Guns.
around and wall running and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I start playing it, and I'm playing, and they're like, "Titan is ready," and I call them like, "Prepare for Titanfall," and I'm like, "Oh, that's why it's called
That's why-
Titanfall."
And it says Titanfall in big letters across
Yeah.
the screen, and you're like, hit V, and then a Titan falls out of the
Exactly.
sky.
I'd never put two and two together because I knew they were mechs, but I didn't realize they were dropped into battle
Oh,
from
dude,
like.
it's
I hate to tell you
a
this,
cool
guys.
fucking effect.
We're
too.
supposed to appear as though we know what we're talking about.
Have you?
Well, I know what I'm talking about now.
Have you done it where like you dropped it on an enemy
On an
Titan
enemy?
and
Yeah,
kill
yeah,
him?
yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, oh, that's so much fun.
So Titanfall, first-person shooter, but more than just that, because it's also. I mean, this.
Well, it's
Okay, so
I
first of
mean,
all, let's-
both aspects of it are very first-person shooter,
very much.
but they control differently.
But for
Yeah.
anyone who's been kind of like following this project, and I'm sure most people at this point know, but this was the long-awaited project that was announced from Respawn Entertainment, which was formed by the guys who broke off from Infinity War during that whole Call of Duty Modern Warfare debacle.
Yeah.
And of course, they ended up
This
at
was-
EA.
Remember they were talking about signing a deal with EA, and EA wanted them to do some sci-fi shooter, and we didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
And now we do.
Yep.
Now we
it's
do.
pretty cool.
I didn't quite expect it to go the route that they took, and that it was going to end up being pretty much like this. To me, this kind of feels like it's kind of a straight up like Battlefield contender, just because it's purely multiplayer.
Yeah.
It's relying almost entirely on its multiplayer component.
You know
I mean,
what's-
there is a single player component, but it like Battlefield. It serves
Yeah.
kind of as a.
This
You
is a
know what's
Call of
funny, though?
Duty
This is
killer,
like-
not a
this is-
Battlefield
well,
killer.
Yeah.
I'm
This-
just comparing it because it's multiplayer only, and so it's purely competing for that multiplayer
This
space.
game takes a lot of the core concepts that they were trying to do in Brink, and actually kind of does
yeah.
them
Yes.
pretty
I can see
well.
that.
Like Brink was all.
I forgot
Brink
about that
was
game
all
again.
was all multiplayer, but they tried to like infuse a little bit of like story
God,
elements
the
into the multiplayer. But it was a huge fucking mess, and it didn't make any sense.
Was that
Anyway,
Splash Damage
they
that did Brink?
yeah, that was Splash
The
Damage.
Splash Damage, people at Splash Damage were probably watching, seeing Titanfall, and
Yeah,
being
and they're like, "Fuck! Why did we do that?"
Yeah.
And then the parkour, like they tried to do parkour in Brink, but it was very sloppy.
Yeah.
It was shoehorned in there. They kind of made you do it, and in Titanfall, it's kind of
That feels great.
amazing.
In Titanfall, yeah.
Like it's
No,
really
like
fun.
Like you can almost infinitely wall jump.
Oh yeah,
And
if
so
you
just,
time it well enough, you can just run around some of those, like that one city map, the Angel City, without touching the ground.
Yeah.
Oh my god, once you get a groove going of like the wall jumps and the double jumps and everything, it feels so good. That game, the controls of that game are set up so well to make most things you do look cool in some way.
Oh yeah, definitely. And one of the coolest moments is when you call a Titan, and it's not you're not right where it lands, so you kind of run up to it and maybe jump, and it will literally the Titan will grab you out of the air and throw you
Or
into
like,
the pilot
if
seat.
you're running behind it, he'll like slide under the legs, and the Titan will just like pick you up and shove you in its
It's
chest.
pretty
It's
fucking
so
awesome.
fucking cool. Like,
And it's definitely a lot of fun, and then you're in your Titan, and I really like the effect of like the screens kind of lighting up, and you can tell
Yeah.
there's multiple monitors. That's how you're getting your view.
that,
and
that,
stuff.
that's that physicality of
Exactly.
being.
I
I
mean,
mean, it really feels like it. And then you're fighting in your Titan, and you have your different weapons, and you can punch dudes and just obliterate them. And then, obviously, I guess you could, but your Titan might not last forever. And so when it gets destroyed, you can have different settings. Like one of them's a nuclear explosion.
I
when
love that
when
part.
your Titan goes, it goes into a pretty much a mode where it's
it
done.
overloads its reactor and it has like a nuclear explosion.
So
So,
anyone
like
in
a
a
lot of
radius-
times, like I use that one on my Titan or on all my loadouts. So like you'll get these guys where like they're about to die or whatever, and they just start running towards a group of enemies, like
Yeah.
all kind of clusterfucked in a street, and then eject, and it blows up and kills like 3 dudes.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. If somebody starts charging at you and they're like on fire, run away because they're probably trying to do a nuclear, a nuclear detonation on you.
Another cool thing is when you also eject from your Titan
Yes.
before it explodes, and so when you eject, you fly like 200 feet up in the air. But one of the best feelings is I'm in a battle with a Titan, and we're both kind of getting weak, and like I'm almost killed him, but maybe he got the upper hand because he snuck up on me or something. And so I eject out, and then I land on top of his Titan.
Yeah.
And then I rip open the hatch and start blasting his Titan with my gun.
You
like
rodeo
this.
it,
Oh,
just
yeah,
like
that
that.
exactly.
That was
And I
perfect
fucking
timing.
destroy his Titan.
Yeah.
And it feels so good doing that.
They call
like,
that rodeoing.
Yeah,
and it's really
rodeoing.
fun.
Yeah.
The cool thing too is like you just saw there, if you're sitting on top of a Titan and the other pilot ejects, sometimes it'll shoot you up with him, and then you'll both kind of be hanging like just up in the air in like the split second of free fall, just like shooting at each other.
What
Like,
was
it's
the
fucking
question we were
ridiculous.
going to ask at PAX? Something about.
Oh, dude, that happened to me today, actually. I ejected under a bridge, and it didn't kill me. That didn't kill me. Like, that didn't, like, goose me, as it were.
Yeah.
But, because I had that fucking nuclear explosion thing on, I didn't get far enough
enough
away
away.
from my Titan, and it
Wouldn't it
exploded
kill
and
you,
killed
though?
me.
in real life, probably.
Well,
Well,
yes.
I mean, if it shot you up and you hit, like, if you were under a bridge, which I just happened to be, and you eject, and it smashes you into that bridge, yeah.
It's also cool because you can also ride your
But it doesn't do
friendly
that in the
Titans.
I will say that goosing, that's just cruel.
Yeah, no, so it's fun because you'll be going into battle, and obviously you're a person, and so you don't go very fast. But if one of your friendly Titans is nearby, you can literally hitch a ride and just jump on the back of a friendly Titan. And the cool thing, it'll alert you. It'll be like, friendly combatant riding on your Titan, and blah, blah, blah. And also your Titan, we've talked about it before, has its own AI. And so when you eject out of your Titan, it will still continue to fight without you in it.
It has two settings. It has like a follow
mode
and a
or
guard mode. Yeah.
So guard obviously puts it in defensive mode.
Yeah, it just holds whatever point that you set it at, and follow it just tries to stay as close to you as possible while still engaging
the enemy.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and this is a really cool thing. What you're seeing right here, the level design is really cool in that in these capture point maps, there's always something for the Titans and the pilots to be doing. Like a Titan and a pilot can work together to capture a point. A lot of these areas, like some of them will be big enough for the Titan to move through, some of them won't be, but there's still like like a veranda area or something on top of that the Titan can hold and still be contributing to that capture of that point.
Yeah.
So that was something that was really cool that I liked.
How many maps are available in the?
Two.
Just two?
Yeah, they have
I'm wondering how many there's actually going to be.
Angel City.
15?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. 15.
So Chris Davis says 15 in the final version, which is exciting. I do like the map design, and I like the visual aesthetic of the game. The only thing that's kind of I don't mean for this to sound overly harsh or critical of the game, because I do think it's a lot of fun. It controls like a fucking dream, but it does seem, maybe it's just the mode that we're playing in now because it is the beta, but it seems it's very clusterfucky.
Oh no, it's a huge It's just because it's super fast paced.
And that is an official term,
dude. But that's like part of it. Like that's kind of part of the experience. Like you get in that Titan and the computer's just like fucking yelling at you. It's like you're engaged in 2-1 against enemy pilots, and there's bells and whistles going off, and you've got the fucking red, almost jelly vision thing going on. You've got like things flashing at you. It's really just.
I just want to see what the game can do.
It's all about just like filtering information.
I want to see what the game can do, or what it feels like when there's more of there's a mode that maybe encourages more communication between the players, and
that's one of the things I brought up with Nick is the fact that most of the people I was playing with all had mics. But there's no use in communicating with people when this is going on, just because it's too fast paced. There's too much going on.
This game's made by the Call of Duty guys.
Yeah.
And it feels like it.
But that multiplayer isn't about like fucking communicating with your teammates necessarily. It's about running and gunning, and that's why I said that this seems much more like Call of Duty than Battlefield in scope. It's more about kind of doing your own thing and just getting the kills as you see them as you're running around.
I mean, you usually tend to do best when you're just like if you're in a capture point map and it's just like whatever points aren't yours, run there and kill people. That's the only strategy.
I'll tell you this right now: this game already has probably one of my favorite weapons of the year.
Oh, and that's smart pistol.
The smart pistol.
That's fucking cool.
It's so satisfying. It's weird because you hold the pistol kind of like an angle, but basically whenever you see enemy combatants on the screen with you, like in front of you,
within a certain distance,
you'll see like little circles appear on them that turn orange. They go from orange to red, and you'll see like a line that kind of like a curved line that goes from the tip of your gun, a trajectory that goes from the tip of your gun to them. And once it turns red, you're locked on it, and no matter what direction you fire that pistol, that bullet's going to curve and it's going to hit them. The thing is, you have to hold them within your screen within your view for a certain amount of time before it locks on and you can fire. So it's not like super OP. You can't just like go and unleash that shit everywhere else. But if you manage to keep someone, like if they're running from you and you manage to keep them on screen with you long enough and you fire that thing and it goes like around a corner and takes them out, holy shit, that's satisfying.
I mean, for a pilot, you have to get 3 clean locks with the smart pistol.
So that's this is the reason the game, he mentioned, if it's a pilot, that this game is clusterfucky a little bit, is because it's not just you and the other players. It's like it's 6v6. But then there's also grunts, and then there's
all these characters right here are all NPCs that you see on the screen.
And there's also, what are they called?
There's grunts and specters.
Specters.
Yeah.
And so they're just NPCs.
There's that.
Yes. And
so there's a bunch.
They're
of them.
everywhere, and so you can tell the difference because an NPC is just gonna stand there and shoot at you, whereas a player is gonna be running around and jumping and stuff like that.
Don't they look a little different too?
They look different. They're really easy to kill.
When you're like 100 feet away, you just see a body.
Yeah, you just see people running, and you're just running for it. If you see somebody running around with a jump pack, you know they're a pilot.
Yeah.
But
and so the thing is, what he's talking about with the smart pistol, like one shot on a grunt will kill it, and I think maybe 2.
There's a 3 in the tutorial.
Yeah, you can with the smart pistol. You can run up onto like 3 different grunts and just kill them.
Why do you think those are in the game?
It just kind of, I don't know. It adds to that sense of like making it seem.
If they weren't, I think it would be too not. If there's only 12 people on this giant map, there wouldn't be enough. You'd be by yourself most of the time looking for people.
It also kind of removes some of the camping element from like on these control point maps. When you take a point, you don't necessarily have to stick around and hold it. Like they'll actually start sending in NPCs to hold that point for you, which they don't do like a fantastic job holding it against player characters.
Yeah.
But they offer enough protection that you can run and go do something else.
I also
Do you
feel
think
like
it's also like those grunt things exist to kind of just be fodder for?
No,
people
they
are.
fodder.
I know, it's all
but
about-
they're
it's all
there
about points.
specifically
And
for
think
people who aren't very good at the
No,
game.
that's what I was gonna say. I feel
the
like
other thing too is on the attrition, which is like their random or their team
Deathmatch,
deathmatch mode. You earn. It's all about earning attrition points. Those aren't player kills. They can be other things too, like grunt kills. So you can run around in attrition and kill these NPCs and be contributing to the team effort.
You know, I saw an editorial on Polygon or whatever, and they said Titanfall is a first-person shooter for people who suck at first-person shooters. and it wasn't necessarily like this thing saying Titanfall's bad. They're just saying like
that's kind of genius though.
It's tuned towards. I didn't read the article, but I heard people talking about it, and now that I hear you talk about this like smart pistol and these grunts and stuff, it definitely sounds like this isn't. The game, and even like the Titan weapons are all like lock-on based.
The thing,
right?
the thing, well, not no, they aren't. The thing with the smart pistol is that's your primary gun.
So only for the assassin, isn't it?
No,
well,
that's
you
just,
can also have custom loadouts.
Yeah, you can customize your loadout.
That counts as a primary.
But that's what I'm
weapon.
saying. So you have a primary weapon, you have a Titan, like a anti-Titan weapon, and you have a sidearm. Sidearm's like a pistol. And so if you choose that smart gun as your primary weapon, and you go up against someone who has an assault rifle, there's no competition. They're going to destroy you.
Yeah.
The smart pistol is for someone who's more stealthy, who's going to sneak up behind people. Who, you know, if you get blasted in the air with the enemy out of a Titan, and you can lock on really easy. You don't really need to aim; you just need them on your screen. And so, I mean, the smart pistol, though it sounds like it's pretty good, you can't run and gun with it.
There's so many different things that you can use. There's so many different ways that you can play that. Like some of these things, like the invisibility cloak and the smart pistol, like on their own in other games would seem really OP. But I mean, in this game, somebody could just roll up on you in a giant fucking mech and step
this
on
seems
you.
like the kind of
like
The thing is, I think it's balanced really well in that there's enough depth there to give players who are really into first-person shooters the ability to kind of go nuts. Like they can create their custom loadouts, they can play the way they want, they can go after, they can focus on taking out pilots, they don't want to focus on taking out grunts, that kind of thing. But by having the grunts there and having weapons like the what is it called? The smart pistol. I feel like this game is just designed with like fun is kind of just the key.
It's designed to make
element here.
every interaction between you and another player, everything that you're doing, seem cool and like cinematic.
I
in some
love
way.
Battlefield. I do. But God, if you're in a match with people who are really good at that game, it's really easy to start feeling like you suck real bad at the game, and then all of a sudden you start having less fun. And I feel like this game, you can, even if you're taking out the bots and whatnot, but you're still. It's done in such a way that you still feel like you're contributing to your team, and you can still have a lot of fun even though you're not necessarily taking out other players all the time.
So one thing I do want to say is you can. There were several times when I played the beta that I felt that the team balancing was horrible. You know, my team would be all people around like 6 or 7, and their entire other team is level 14.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why the fuck is this not balanced? And even though you lose, you still, when you go into the end phase, there's like an attrition at least. There's a phase where it's team deathmatch, and whoever gets 250 attrition points first is the winning team. So the losing team still has an opportunity to get 400 more points for themselves to level up and unlock new equipment by getting to an evacuation point. And so what happens is when you go into that losing mode, it's like, hey, evacuate. The dropship's going to land here in 30 seconds. Get there. But the other team knows where the dropship's going to land as well. So it's then a race for everyone everyone to get to the evacuation point for the enemy team to try and stop that shuttle from taking off with the losing team on it. And for the losing team, if you get on the shuttle, you get an extra 200 points. And then if you are able to escape in the shuttle, you get another 200 points.
Is that? But that you still lose the match no matter what.
You still lost.
You still technically lost, but like it does. This is kind of more of that trying to inject more of like the single player style kind of cinematic quality to the multiplayer
It's
match.
creating set piece moments by doing
Yeah,
that.
and it's still like, even when you lose, like, you still have this chance to do something cool. It's not just like you lost and it's over, you know? You still have a chance to at least get to that dropship. I mean, I was
man,
playing,
when that
was playing a
countdown
couple-
starts and you're like making a beeline for that,
Dude.
it's exciting.
It gets
Yeah, there was a
intense.
couple times where I was running and like I made it into the dropship, like right as the thing was taking off, I like jumped and like pulled myself in, and people were still shooting, and the dropship shoots off to warp, and everything's quiet and you're out in space, and I look around and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm the only person on the ship. And then like
it shows you go all the way up into space.
Well, that's
no,
what
what just happened right there? As it's taking off, it like warps in atmosphere.
Yeah.
And then there's like a bright flash, and then you're just like out in orbit. And then you actually like even that, like being the only survivor, they give you like an extra 100 points or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's just so fucking cool.
So this the you know the cinematics involving the Titans, you know, getting into the cockpit and all this action and stuff. God damn, I want a fucking Gundam game. If
Dude,
they could make a
right?
fucking Gundam game
That was
with
like
this
this?
style, it would be fucking amazing.
I'll tell you this though, as far as like mech games goes, I think this is kind of what people have been begging for
it's-
mech games
in
for
my
a long
opinion-
time.
Well, hold on. There's a certain portions of mech fans out there who don't want their mechs to just control like first-person
course not.
shooters or whatnot, like these do.
Well, they want
I
more
mean,
fighting in their mechs.
if you're
And
a fan
this
of
doesn't
like,
have the fighting they would like. It does have hand-to-hand combat when you're in a mech, but it's very basic punching that you can punch either people or another mech, and it's a pretty cool effect when you damage a mech enough to where you punch through the cockpit and rip the pilot out, and you throw them
that's so
across
much
the
fun.
screen. It's pretty awesome.
That's stuff that I've wanted for a
That's-
very
that's
long
fucking
time.
cool.
For just a game in general. And that's
that's
exciting.
I would still say that this is a first-person shooter
Oh, yeah.
more so than a mech game.
Oh,
I mean,
definitely.
because it's not like, you know, if you ever play like old school Mech Warrior and shit like that. I mean, even Mech Warrior Online, that feels like a tank simulator more than anything, you know. This is still like, even when you're in the mech, it's still a first-person.
It's the best of both worlds, honestly.
I mean,
think.
it does a really good job of. I mean, it is going to be very casual, welcoming
Yeah.
at first, at least. You know, until everyone kind of digs in and figures out how to, you know, all the exploits and everything like that.
I mean,
but at the same time,
more core like communities, like hardcore communities, are going to form once people start. You know, the people who stick around, stick with the game long enough to start getting super good at it it's gonna start naturally kind of forming
Yeah.
its own.
And that's the thing too. We've only been playing the beta. There's only like 4 or 5 different guns you can use. There's only 2 maps you can use. There's only 1 mech chassis that you're allowed to use
Yeah.
that I've seen. Actually,
You can
I saw-
eventually customize your own mech, I assume.
You
can
can
customize
yeah. You
it,
have
yeah.
2 completely separate loadouts, one for your pilot, one for your mech. You unlock different chassis, different
How much of that
weapons.
is locked in the beta?
a lot.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
Um,
one of the cool things, like I said, just cinematics is whenever you kill someone, it gives you the kill cam and stuff. But one of the cool things is when you come up behind someone and you melee them, you literally break their neck by twisting their head 360.
Yeah.
But if
180.
you are the person who gets your head
Yeah.
twisted, you get your head and the camera turns around and you're looking at the face
Yeah.
of the person
You
who
just
just
see
killed
your
you.
just see like your camera whip around and there's like some dude's head in your face and you're dead. And you're
It's pretty awesome.
That's pretty
Do
cool.
you think this game has staying power or lasting
Oh,
power?
yes.
I mean, do you see yourself? Do you see
I do.
yourself playing this game for like
So,
weeks?
so here's my
months
question.
on end?
Here's my question. Because, you know, like, there's not a lot of games that can really get me into playing multiplayer shooters. There's been a few games out there, though, in the past that have gotten me, like, super addicted to the point where I played them for at least a couple months pretty regularly. The thing is, this is kind of the game that's going to be, for me, it's going to be, if I get it, it's going to be an Xbox One purchase. And it's going to be the game that gets me to purchase an Xbox One.
See, you don't seem like the kind of guy who would play this for that long.
No, dude, I played Call of Duty 4 for a long time, multiplayer.
Okay. So it is that you are constantly getting like points in this game and unlocking.
Yes.
it.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I mean, all
it's-
those things that
It's
pull
really good
you.
feedback as well.
It's an EA game, and a lot of like these EA online multiplayers have had pretty good systems as far as like unlocking new equipment, new thing. Like for instance, they added something in this called the burn cards, which is really interesting. You unlock these different cards that you can actually spend in matches to give you like.
But they're
different-
one-time use.
They're one-time use. Yeah, that's why they're.
So you
called
can
burn
hoard them
cards.
but then use them to get advantages during certain matches.
Yeah, and they're
Oh.
they're all wide and varied. They give you a whole bunch of different things. I mean, little things like that are what make a lot of these EA multiplayer games pretty good. Like, I mean, if you remember Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, had a lot of like really cool components that are pretty similar to this as far as the...
I mean, these are the guys who made Call of Duty, and I think it shows a lot. All those hooks that kept people coming back. The reason that Call of Duty Modern Warfare revolutionized multiplayer shooters, I feel like all of that is... This looks like it could be like that whole process starting over.
But do you think it's those addictive hooks is what people are going to keep coming back to? See, the thing is, I'm looking at this and it looks so Call of Duty, and I'm not talking about the way it plays or the mechs or anything, but it feels like you play like one night of this game and you've kind of gotten the full extent of the combat narratives that you're going to have playing.
No,
Titanfall,
I agree with you on that.
as opposed to like Battlefield, where like every battle could have its own like story. You know what I mean? Like here, it seems like this is definitely like a one-trick pony. That's gonna feel great, and it's gonna be fast-paced action. But like Call of Duty, you're gonna have those maps, those battles where you eat shit, and then you're gonna have those battles where you kick ass.
All right, two things.
And it's not really gonna
Two things.
do much more than that.
You're right. First of all, it does feel very Call of Duty, and it scratches the same itch as Call of Duty, but at the same time, like anyone who is addicted to that style of multiplayer experience, like who doesn't necessarily play Battlefield. I mean, once again, we've all established Battlefield and Call of Duty are very different, and they're played for very different reasons. This will scratch the same itch that Call of Duty scratches in a lot of ways,
Which is still the biggest thing
which
out
is
there,
still great,
so.
and I feel like this has the potential to completely, once again, kind of reinvent that style of multiplayer game in a lot of ways. In fact, it's going to be really hard. Like I wouldn't be surprised if you see Call of Duty take a major hit this year in terms of sales numbers because of Titanfall.
For sure. Not just that, but also like Destiny and stuff.
Yeah.
See, people keep comparing the two, but I feel like Destiny is like nothing like this game.
No, I feel like Destiny has more in common with I don't want to
Like
say
Borderlands.
I think Borderlands meets Call of
Destiny
Duty.
is definitely going to be much more like cooperative based.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying this game is more run and gun on your own. I'm not going to get my friends together to play this. I'm just going to go and play it whenever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
Whereas Destiny is going to be more of a, hey, Nick, you got free time this afternoon? I want to play some Destiny. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been a big fan of first-person shooters for years. Like, I was really into, like, old-school first-person shooters. I got really big into Halo. I got really big into Team Fortress 2.
Now you're into heady games like Fantasy Tactics, right?
Yeah, I'm into heady games. Like, I don't play as much first-person shooters as I used to, but this is still something that is very much right up my alley. If you're a first-person shooter fan, if you like shooters, this is definitely going to be one you want to play. I mean, even if not, like, even if you just like the whole idea of giant robots, those moments, like you said, you do kind of experience a lot of the different things you're going to experience pretty quickly. But they're so cool that, like, I don't mind going back and playing.
Oh, I don't
again.
doubt it. Like, I seriously don't mean to like talk shit about this game. I played a shit ton of Modern Warfare when that game came out.
I think it's also going to depend really heavily on the maps. Like,
That's true.
These
I
maps
mean,
look great, but there's like 14
even
others that
know-
we haven't seen yet.
We don't even know where on the scale of size these maps lay. Like, are these larger maps or are these smaller
Yeah,
maps?
are these two of the smallest maps in the game?
Yeah,
Or?
and we don't know like all the different Titans. Like what kind of like they have a really light Titan. They have really like heavy ogre like tank Titans. Like how much different are those gonna play? We don't know.
That's what I was thinking. I was talking about it with the chatter the other day about what if there was a Titan that was more of like almost like an armor suit.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's actually really small, but it's
That's like
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
Mechasoul 2.
yeah,
like
it's more similar to that, where it's just like a suit of body armor where you're not too much bigger than
What
a
was that
person.
mech
I mean,
game
I
on the
think
Dreamcast? You know what I'm talking about?
There was a Gundam game.
No, it wasn't a Gundam game. It
Or are you
was
just thinking of Mechasoul 2,
no. I'll think about it. I'll figure it out. Maybe someone in chat knows.
where you have power armor, but you're.
But it
much
was like
more agile?
it was a mech game, but maybe Zone of the Enders
And
is a
then
better
maybe
comparison.
they'll release that update in the future where you can all join your mechs together into one giant
yeah.
mech, and then just like have a quap mech battle,
That'd be
like
good.
everybody controlling one giant mech.
Anyways, I mean, we'll talk about this game a lot more.
Dude, that'd be so badass if they totally had like a robot alchemic drive mode where you could activate a remote control for your mech when you're outside of it
And just kind of like
and just start
Alright.
brawling with another mech. Oh, that'd be so cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty sweet.
It's not going to be in there, but that would be awesome.
But it's nice to see like the genre that was made famous with like Modern Warfare get like a fresh coat of paint, because it definitely does feel that way. And I think the best thing I could say about why I feel like I'm gonna get super into this game is that, like we said, there's a lot of, from any moment to moment or from match to match, cool shit happens all the time. But most importantly, it's so easy to do all, like, this shit looks complicated sometimes, but God, it controls so, it controls so smoothly that, like
that's just the natural way.
It's the natural, like, there's the smart pistol. Well, he's not going to use it. Damn it, Chris, you didn't use the smart pistol.
He was being the smart person.
Oh, here it is.
Mainly.
Boom! Took that bit. Nice. I love that fucking gun. It's so great. Anyways, we'll talk about Titanfall when the full game comes out. I'm probably going to end up picking up, my plan right now is to, I almost have my PS4 paid off. I'm probably going to pick up my Xbox.
You do know that, like, there's a lot of other stuff in March, too.
Oh, yeah. I know.
In fact, there's
Just
a
a
lot of
little
stuff
bit.
right now.
Yeah.
It's all getting crazy.
Oh, man. There's a lot to talk about. This is starting, get ready, guys. It's starting to get crazy. So, anyways, that's Titanfall. We'll talk about it more when the game actually releases. And, of course, if you're watching us live over at 4pp.tv as we record this, you can stick around with us after the show. We'll be doing a special new release Tuesday where we sit around and play some matches of Titanfall. So, let's move on. Let's shift gears a little bit. I feel like I've been talking a lot about Final Fantasy XIII as of late, but Lightning Returns came out last week. We played that for new release Tuesday. I kind of want to get y'all's, just like your impressions of it, because for me, it's a very, maybe not crispy. He has a devious smile on his face. Maybe not crispy so much, but no, I'm just kidding. I want to know what your first impression of it is, just because from game to game, from Final Fantasy XIII to 13.2 to now this, like all of them have felt very different in their approach to, like, the way the story is told, the battle mechanics, and this one is still like a totally different animal from 13 and 13.2, almost to the point where it feels like a completely new game, just with, you know, the same character, obviously. But Brad,
How much have you played?
I'm about 7 hours into it.
That's not much.
No, so let me set it up real quick. So Lightning Returns, I don't want to go into lore for obvious reasons, but it's set up, the kind of the hook of this game is that it has a time limit a la Majora's Mask, and you have 13 days, quote unquote, to save the world or whatever, and you basically spend, everything you do takes time off the clock in games, and you have, as soon as if you don't save enough souls, like, you're basically doing missions saving people's souls,
Because you're Jesus.
Because you're Jesus.
Right.
You are Jesus in this game, essentially. Lightning is the new Jesus. You take those souls back at the end of each day to the Ark where you are God or whatever, and you you give these souls to this tree, and as the tree grows, you get more time out of the clock.
You have to
If you
get
don't-
2 of each soul.
No.
Okay, I was curious.
Souls don't breed.
Oh, okay. I thought
But
maybe.
so I guess the goal is, so if you don't save enough souls and you start running out of time and the
So-
clock runs out, the game ends.
So you can expand that though as much as you need, though, right?
Yes, but not as easy as it sounds, because you're like, a lot of these quests are not like just, hey, go do this, and then you go do it. Some of these things, they don't really tell you where they are,
Right.
what you're looking for, how maybe something seems like it's going to be easy, but it's actually kind of it's more difficult. There's more to it than, you know, what you originally find as part of the quest. But I'm finding it, you don't really have 13 days at the beginning. You start with like 5 days. And I guess as you start doing side missions, you start adding to that clock. But I'm running into points already where I'm kind of like trying to figure out the best way to go about spending my time. Because
You should probably do some homework and get a job after school.
it's funny you mentioned that, because I'm also playing Persona, where you're spending time, like, you have to pick and choose what you do, and if you make the wrong decision, it could have pretty detrimental effects on how you progress through the game. I'm learning this right now, because the weirdest thing about the combat in this game, first of all, you play as one character. You don't have a party. It's kind of like an action RPG mixed with a turn-based RPG, because you're only controlling one character, but you're actually queuing up attacks based on the button prompt, like the circle, square, triangle, whatever. So you can like hit circle to attack, or and then hit triangle to throw in like a lightning and, you know, fire and ice and all this stuff. And you're mixing up, and then you're switching between job classes, because each one of the job classes has a meter, has an active time battle meter. So as you, well, not really an active time battle meter, I guess, but as you use attacks from each class, you're running out of time to use that class, and then you have to switch while it recharges and use other classes. If that makes any sense. It's kind of hard to explain.
So you can only use each class for some, like,
Yeah, so
it kind of forces you to switch.
Yeah, so each attack you use takes off a certain amount from your meter, and then when you run out of abilities or stuff in your meter, you have to switch to a different job class and then, you know, repeat the process. it's tricky because it's all reliant on you spending time in this, what they call the schemata, which is basically a job class, and you choose like her outfit, which has, each outfit has its own like perks, like stat boosts and whatnot, and then you choose her weapon, her shield, and the abilities that you assign to the 4 face buttons. But there's no like you can have like a red mage, but you still choose, you can have a red mage that casts nothing but cure if you want, like, because you're just assigning the abilities that you use in the face button. So it's pretty much completely up to you to design a
So
good.
you actually design the job itself.
Yes.
It's like kind of creating like a loadout or something.
Yeah, but you also you have to be smart about it, because if you have the red mage who has certain stat boosts, that will help you dictate kind of the best abilities to give her, the best weapons to give her. And you can have 3 different job classes active at any one time, so you'll want to switch those. You'll want to have a well-balanced set of job classes. So you may want to have one that's heavy on physical attacks, one that's heavy on like healing, and they should complement each other. And but you eventually start to get so many pieces of equipment and outfits that it becomes really a challenge to kind of figure out what the best combination of those things are. But I'm already getting to a point where I don't know what to do, because I'm at the first boss in this game. I'm 7 hours in. There's apparently like 4 or 5 bosses, and like major bosses in the game, and they kind of happen at certain key points in the story. But you don't level up in this game. You don't go from level 1 to 2 to 3. You get magic abilities as item drops in battle, and then you synthesize them together with the same type. So you have fire, and you mix them together, and all of a sudden you have a more powerful fire spell. So when you're grinding, you're actually grinding to collect spell loot, and then synthesize them together to make more powerful spells, which is how you are more successful in combat.
So she never has she doesn't have like a certain just like across the board stat bonus when you reach like a level up or anything.
It's all dictated by the schemata you put together with the outfit, equipment, sword, weapons, and all that stuff. And
that seems really weird to me, because it almost seems like they wanted to make a real time like action RPG, but they just didn't want to get rid of that turn-based element that makes Final Fantasy.
True. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm also having a really good time with the combat. It's super fast-paced.
You finally got to the gameplay. I don't know why we showed the whole intro.
I don't know either, but that's fine. I mean, I do. Speaking of story, since we did show the intro during this, it's funny how you can clearly tell from each one of these games that they started this project without the intentions of making it go this far, because they've kind of handed it off to different people with different creative takes on the series from one game to the next, and this one feels, in terms of its story, it's still ridiculous, it's still out there, but like in terms of its tone and the delivery of its story and its characters, I find it far more appealing than anything from 13 and 13-2. But yeah, so what you're watching this is the basic combat. So you see these 3 colored bars here?
Yeah, red.
Those, blue, so red, as she's doing attacks, is running out, and then when that runs out, I have to switch. And now I'm using the yellow bar because I switched to a different job class and I have a different set of attacks. So it really becomes this like balancing act where you're trying to, you kind of have to memorize what attacks you have available in each class. Because if you need to use guard, because you can like throw up your shield and guard, but it's only attached to one class, you got to make sure you need to be in that class at the right time, and that can be difficult.
But then you would run out of whatever for that class.
Yeah, eventually you would have no more
that...
ATB for that class.
Yeah, but holding up your shield also takes
ATB,
really?
or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So holding up the shield
is
like
it just holding up the shield, or is it whenever it
it's
actually
constantly going down?
Something?
It's constantly going down.
Think Dark Souls, where when you're holding your shield, your stamina recharges very slow.
But it only removes stamina.
But that's what I'm saying.
A hit.
But that's what I'm saying. In this case, as long as you're holding it up,
you're not going to get more.
You lose. You're still. That's like an attack essentially. But instead of attacking, you're holding up your shield.
There's been more than one occasion where I'm in the middle of an intense fight and I put up my shield anticipating an attack, and he like pauses, like he's not going to throw the attack. So I'm waiting, and I'm just sitting there holding my shield, like it's coming, and all of a sudden I run out of ATB and I put the shield down, and then he attacks.
Yeah. Nice. Hey, Nick.
Yes,
the combat's fun.
It is fun. It is
maybe even the highlight of why you played this game. But
yeah, definitely. I think by far, combat is kind of the best part of the Final Fantasy 13 series. And the cool thing about the franchise is that each one is drastically different than the last in terms of its approach to combat. But I vastly prefer this to the past
I have a
2 games. Okay.
How is what is the world like? This is an open world game?
It's not open world. The environments, you are traveling between multiple big open environments. Like the city we were messing around in last time is it's big. There's a lot of halls to go down and areas to explore and like doors that are only open during certain times of day that lead to other areas, which is cool. So, but you would essentially explore that entire area, and then you can jump on a train that takes you to another part of the world. With like this part of the world that you're seeing right now is this big, vast, open expanse, kind of like that one area that's famous in Final Fantasy 13. And I haven't explored the other 2, but they all seem much bigger than 13 and 13-2. But obviously, they're not all interconnected in a seamless way.
Are you going to keep playing this game?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm supposed to review it, so I'm definitely going to finish it. I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it quite a bit more than I was expecting. So we'll see.
I had gameflied it, but I sent it back just because there's too much stuff coming out like very soon.
Yeah. No shit. I'm having a hard time figuring out what the hell I'm going to play from moment to moment. I do need to spend more time with this because I do want to review it and I do want to finish it. But like little things been cropping up, like Bravely Default, which I haven't had much time to play. And the next game we're going to talk about, which The Last of Us. Last of Us released this new story DLC this week, single player. Mm-hmm. We all played it, except for Crispy, so sorry.
Shame. Just close my ears.
Actually, both Chris's didn't play it, so
that's true.
Yeah.
So, Brad, do you want to set up? It's called Last of Us Left Behind. It came out on Valentine's Day, and it's a story-based DLC following Ellie, obviously the main character, one of the main characters of Last of Us. And I don't want to spoil anything, obviously.
Okay, well, don't spoil anything. Hey,
I'm going to leave that to you, Brad, to not spoil anything. It's going to be hard.
This is a really, really good DLC.
So I will say this. So something we talked about when we all finished The Last of Us is we're like, we really hope they don't do a sequel. And so, in this case, it's DLC that's kind of a prequel.
It's a prequel, and it's jumping back and forth between 2 points in the story. The prequel to the events of The Last of Us and a moment where there's a
gap. So, I mean, for anyone who's played, maybe not necessarily beaten, but played The Last of Us, the game is split up into seasons.
Yes.
And there's a big chunk of missing kind of in between the seasons time where you just kind of assume stuff happened. And in this case, this is during that time. This is in between fall and winter.
Yes.
At one point everything's going fine, then all of a sudden it's snowy in the game, and this is what kind of happens in between those two times.
And it's definitely that moment in the story is like there's a reason that moment in the story,
where there's so much downtime,
and this time in the past, why they're linked.
Mm-hmm.
There is a reason.
Yep.
Why they're kind of like
a thematical reason.
A thematical reason, exactly. And when you're playing that chunk of time that's in the actual Last of Us proper, that's where you do most of the combat.
Correct.
And
well, that's because, I mean,
is it okay to say at what point it is in the story? I mean, a little more specifically.
I guess so. That's not really spoilery, I guess.
Well, there is a point during, without spoiling specifically what happens proper.
Yeah.
There's a moment, or there's a time period in which Ellie is kind of left to take care of Joel in a sense, instead of the other way around. Joel, for the most part, Joel is taking care of Ellie the entirety of the game.
It's funny you said that that's not like a spoiler or anything, because I was watching that. If y'all didn't know, Naughty Dog just put out a movie, a documentary,
making a documentary,
or not Naughty Dog, whatever.
Oh, they
it's
didn't
called.
just put it out. It was only available.
Well, yeah, it's only available for like people with the season pass, and then just today it went live on Amazon Prime for free.
That's actually Area 5 who just did a Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's who I was trying to think of. I couldn't remember their name.
They just kickstarted, and it just became successful, where they're going to be doing a bunch of documentaries about different topics.
But anyway, it was funny because one of the things they mentioned was actually playing as Ellie was one of their big secrets, and I didn't even know about it going into the game. And apparently, to the point where they were lying to all these media outlets, and like they were straight up saying
in the main game,
you do not play as Ellie ever, because they were, they wanted it to be a big surprise. I mean, it's kind of, the game
turned out to be kind of a surprise.
Oh yeah, it was for me. Like I didn't see it coming, but I'm saying,
especially
I guess,
the way they set it up.
Yeah, past the statute of limitations. But I mean, it definitely. So like you were saying, when Ellie has to kind of take over, that was a great shot.
Good job, Nolan.
Yeah.
That was a good shot.
No, because there's some horrible ones later. There's some horrible.
Well,
ones.
the other half of the DLC is a flashback where
it's just weeks before the events.
Yes,
where
about 2 weeks, because if you played the main game and you actually paid attention to the story, you actually know about all of this. Ellie has talked about it in the story
without giving details, but she's referenced it.
Mm-hmm.
And where it's pretty much just one day, right?
Yeah.
Like it all takes place on the same
day.
day. It's just basically Ellie hanging out with her friend Riley, and in that part of the DLC, you're just hanging out.
Yep.
And it's pretty much all those moments you liked in The Last of Us, where like all those triangle moments where Ellie would go up to, or like Joel would go up to something and would trigger a scene, like, and Ellie and him would have like a conversation, and it'd be like commenting on something in the world, and that's where you got a lot of the character development. That other half of the DLC is just pure character development. You learn kind of the person who Ellie was. It kind of reminds you of like, hey, this person is just a kid, which you don't really get that necessarily from the main game, because she has
to be more mature in that other experience.
Exactly,
because
it's all pretty much just straight up survival. This is you're put into very much not a survival scenario. It's just her and her friend like
spending time hanging out in an old mall, and there's like there's so many moments,
so many great fucking moments.
This is that thing that happened before the game.
I would honestly say, like, as far as The Last of Us goes, some of the best moments of the entire experience are in this DLC.
Absolutely,
yes,
it was pretty good.
Absolutely. But like, and they genuinely do new, like really crazy like narrative things in these moments that they don't even like.
But they didn't do in the main game.
Yeah, like in the main game, it was really simplistic. I mean, and straightforward. You go up, you hit triangle, and maybe they'd have a little back and forth. But it never got very elaborate in like the setup. Right. It was more just dialogue and acting, and it was great. But this, there's some really amazing moments that they set up here, and it's just pure character development. These characters are so good and so well acted that
that's the thing. It's a Naughty Dog game, and the characters are so well developed, and they put so much thought into not just what you see in the game, but in their backstory, to the point where they can even elaborate on it more, and it doesn't feel like it's drawn out, or it doesn't feel like they're just boring exposition. It actually feels good, and you care about the characters, and you want to know more about them.
The moments in this DLC are probably some of the best most human moments of like Naughty Dog has ever done. Period.
Yep.
In their entire history, or in this DLC.
Wow. Some of the best I've seen in a game.
Just some of the like again, without spoiling anything, like that moment that happened in the arcade was really great.
Yeah.
The I don't want to. I don't want to say anything. There's a certain type of shop you come across. Some great fucking moments.
That's so good.
There's
so good.
This is a sex shop.
Yes. Big dildos everywhere.
There's a moment in like a confined space.
Yes.
There's just so many great narrative moments here that just.
And then
but the thing is, there's this mood, because everyone who's playing this DLC has played The Last of Us, and that there's
shit goes down.
Reality is looming over this entire moment that is just so sweet and innocent and funny and just fucking human and real.
And outside of the moment, outside of the fact that like Brad said, that reality is looming there, it's outside of that, just that ominous feeling is there. There was just this. It's beautifully juxtaposed, the transitions from present day with Joel to the past. Yeah. 'Cause in the past moments, you don't feel you feel like, okay, the shit can hit the fan at any moment.
This what we're seeing right here is the present day.
This is the present day.
Yeah.
So you had that feeling that the shit can hit the fan at any moment, but you kind of feel safe at the same time. You're with someone who is your friend is pretty experienced. They both are pretty confident that they're not in any danger. So you're exploring this mall and just goofing around like kids would and having all these great fun moments together.
That's what I was saying. Like,
and then all of a sudden it has this beautiful like moment where it kind of comes to a close where you're like, all of a sudden it fades to black and all of a sudden you're back and it's present day. It's snowing outside and there are clickers everywhere and you're just like, fuck.
Here's a good like kind of like this DLC is the setup like if the intro to The Last of Us, you know, the intro in the house prologue, where you plays the daughter and everything, if that sort of sets up maybe why the motivations of Joel and kind of maybe why the way he is, right. That's what this does for Ellie. Yeah, like it kind of sets up like the character that she is kind of like that
the loss of her innocence sort of thing.
Yeah. Or in like the character that she became in her motivations and maybe why, you know, why she acts the way she does in the scene that, you know, from the actual game that you play in this, that is juxtaposed with this flashback scene. And it's so goddamn good.
How long?
About 2.5 hours.
Yeah, 2.5 to 3 hours, depending.
I would say
this is like a fucking like it's such a tight experience though that you definitely don't have this feeling that like this. I feel like this could be its own story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you just watched like a good film. Like that's kind of the length of it, and that's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
You know, it's this.
I'm gonna go ahead and say right now, as far as like DLC for games goes, this is right up there for me with Minerva's Den, which we've talked about plenty. Where I've said Minerva's Den is a fantastic piece of DLC, and honestly, one of the best pieces of BioShock content out there.
There's really great.
And this is right along those lines, I think.
You get into a certain gunfight that isn't with a gun you typically use in the main game.
Yeah,
it's so good.
But
it's so good.
So what I wanted to say is it recently came out, and I think in an AMA, that they're doing something with The Last of Us 2. Like something's going on.
I think they have to.
Well, yeah, but so I mean, this almost makes me a little more confident that they're capable of doing something. Maybe I thought about what if we saw Joel's journey from Austin to Boston. There's a big 20-year gap in the main game where you don't know what happened.
See, I was thinking like if there were, because I feel like even Naughty Dog has referred to this as their first piece of story DLC for The Last of Us, and I feel like we're probably likely to see a second piece of DLC, maybe that focuses on Joel, maybe explores the relationship between Joel and Tess or something like that. But I really hope that if they're gonna go forward with a sequel, like a full blown sequel to The Last of Us, that they don't include these characters.
It can't be Joel. Yeah, you could like what you're talking about doesn't make sense though. It doesn't matter. There's nothing more to say about Joel. Like
I agree.
The character.
I know
that
what
he
you're
is,
saying.
You know what I mean?
I know. The thing is The Last of Us is about Joel's journey. It was about both of their journeys emotionally and just their character development. And so it would be a little weird to have like a span in between what you see from the prologue of the Last of Us proper and then what happens in the actual game. And so I do agree that would be a little weird. But the thing is I don't want to see something after The Last of Us with these characters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Just different stories, same world. Just that'd be fine.
I wouldn't even mind seeing what happens in this world further down the timeline.
I love these characters. I don't want to see any more of them. I don't.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's easy to want that also.
Yeah,
because it's like oh, you didn't want season 2 to be about Clementine, but you love Clementine so much that you're like, I'm gonna let it slide and just give me the fucking game. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want that to happen. I think it might, but it'd actually be really brave for them to kind of set up new characters because the success of franchises is definitely about having an identifiable character.
I think if we were to see a sequel to Last of Us featuring these characters, it would be when Ellie is older. It would be the same approach they took to Clementine, where it'd be years down the road and she's older and she has her own story.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I want to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. The thing is, I trust Naughty Dog so much with these characters and these stories that if anybody recognizes the fact that maybe these characters shouldn't be explored again, it's them.
Can I say a couple things about the gunplay before we move on or anything?
Mm-hmm.
I will say that 2 things. One, I really did forget just how much I loved playing The Last of Us.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love the fucking gunplay.
You should play the multiplayer.
I know. I fucking know. I know. Stop it. Leave me alone. But seriously, and I really didn't like the gameplay where you're like, you're stealthing around. There's a lot of clickers around, especially when you're by yourself in the DLC. I was like, this isn't the fun part. But then you get into like, actual fights, especially with the humans. And it was my first encounter with humans where I remembered like, oh, this is why I love this shit. A human came around at me, I missed and I missed again, but I didn't die in that situation, I fucking ran out of the way and I fucking, healed up and I took some shots and I ran up and I meleeed him. It's just so fucking scrappy and sloppy. And that's what I love because the AI reacts to that.
That's what we talked about. I remember when we talked about this game is running away doesn't feel like cowardly in this game.
I also feel like this is one of the few games in which I don't feel the need to reload when I fuck up, which is
and also
so rare.
And it feels improvisational, and when stuff goes wrong, it still feels good. And that's a weird thing to say because most shooters aren't really like that.
Although I do admit, I reloaded once. Actually, from the moment at the beginning where you first get the bow and arrow that we saw in this gameplay clip here, because I thought I only had one arrow. And like there's 3 dudes, and I was picking my shot, and I was like, I'm gonna take him out first, and I fired, and I just like arrow went like right in front of his face, and just like broke on the wall. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
One other thing that's cool about this DLC, which I don't remember from the main game, at least that much, is there are several situations where there are humans and
That didn't happen too much in the main game.
Infected, like in the same combat scenario.
And so that's what happened. You see it a couple of times in the game, but this was me playing earlier, and also I was playing on hard, and I forgot that Ellie doesn't have the pills that Joel took, so her aim isn't dead on. She's got to sway and stuff. And so anyway, there's a lot of times when clickers and humans are in the same environment, and I try and draw out the clickers to the humans so they can kind of take each other out, which makes it a little easier on me, or they cause a distraction for me.
I had this moment last night when I was playing. It was basically the last encounter, like last major encounter.
Yeah.
I won't spoil it, but there's like 6 or 7 human characters, whatever, and there's quite a few, and I was focusing so much on taking them out, and I was like I only had like 2 bullets. I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And I get up and I'm trying to aim at this one guy, and all of a sudden he turns away from me and just starts firing, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, oh shit, I just see clickers like coming down the escalator. I was like, what the fuck?
And I had to like interactions didn't really happen in the main game.
They didn't really happen that much at all.
Those pretty separate.
Yeah, when you were in the game in The Last of Us proper, you were either fighting clickers or you were fighting people.
You know what I'm really hoping?
Or not clickers, but infected.
I'm hoping we get one more piece of DLC, maybe focus on Joel. And it's really as good as they already said no.
They said this is it.
Yeah.
For Last of Us.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I listened to an interview.
Well, I hope there is at least a Game of the Year edition that has this maybe like on a disc.
We also know they lie.
Yeah, that's true too.
That is true. We just established earlier in this conversation that they do lie intentionally.
Oh man, I gotta say, like, I was thinking a lot about this after I finished it.
Oh yeah.
And I really, really want to play it again but I didn't. And instead, because I don't have a PS3, I had to get back to Carlos, so I couldn't play it again. So what I did is I went on YouTube, and I saw all the stuff that you can do that I missed.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
Like there's a certain item that you can interact with, and I didn't know you could keep doing it and stuff.
I did that. I did that over and over again.
I gotta say, like, I was getting kind of emotional watching these scenes that I didn't even experience for myself, and I mentioned it on Twitter because this is after I'd already finished the DLC and I knew what happens, and watching these scenes. It's like when you're watching like a sad movie, like right before like someone dies or whatever, it like flashes back to like certain moments in their life or that relationship, and then like that's the moment where you're supposed to get real sad. Like I had that moment watching YouTube clips of this stuff that I missed in the actual DLC, and I thought that was like crazy.
You know what? This is kind of a weird note to end on because it's not that important in the grand scheme of things, but when you first start this game up and you're connected online, it pops up a message saying,
Do you want to connect to
Facebook? And I was about to be like, no. And then it said, it phrased it like this. It said, there's a cool feature in this DLC if you connect to Facebook. And I was like, I just never heard it phrased quite like that before. And I was like, if anybody could do something cool with Facebook, maybe it's Naughty Dog. So I did it. Did you do it by chance?
No,
oh,
but I
Brad
heard
doesn't
about
have
this.
Facebook.
I heard about
So-
it. Oh, yeah, no.
should I spoil what it is?
Whatever.
Is it much of a spoiler?
A little bit.
Let's just say in Twitter and stuff too, right?
I only asked for Facebook.
No, it's just Facebook. It doesn't connect to Twitter. I mean, if you have Facebook and you don't mind, I mean, you just might as well. It's not gonna hurt you. I mean,
just do it.
Yeah, just do it. It's non-intrusive, and it's just really, really
Fucked up
unique and
I will say it's funny that all the footage we showed is like from the combat side of it too. When pretty much
Well, I
all
mean,
the
the-
memorable moments. are from the
I
other side.
recorded 5 minutes from when they walk through the doors and after they turn the lights on.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm kind of glad he didn't show that during the podcast.
Well, that's the
that
thing.
might spoil it.
I think the combat's because this is not to say anything. I mean, this is you've seen all this to an extent. You've seen it's Last of Us combat, but the story stuff is a little more personal. You don't want to like watch it be played. You want to experience it. You want to hear. You know, that's one of the things I loved about The Last of Us. We talk about how great the music is.
Oh, God,
But
so good.
99% of the game is no music. It's all atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I love that. And are there some original songs in this?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, because there's definitely music I didn't
They
recognize.
released part 2 of the soundtrack, which is music from this DLC
fuck,
on
I'm
Spotify.
gonna download that.
The version of "I Got You, Babe" that played.
Mhm.
That's a real song. That's a real version of that song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I will say that we need to move on. But
Yeah, I agree.
but I feel like this, like, there's a lot of people who reacted very emotionally to the intro of The Last of Us.
For rightfully so.
Proper. That didn't really kind of
Oh, nice shot,
get to me
right?
that much. that didn't really get to me that much. But this DLC definitely did.
Yeah.
And it got me like real sad for these characters, and you know, I think
Another thing I want to say is, I fucking love how they ended it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think I loved how they ended The Last of Us, and when they ended the DLC, I kind of thought there was going to be more,
Yeah.
but there wasn't. But it was a perfect fucking time to end
They
it.
pull the same thing as they did at the end of the proper game,
Yeah.
where it's like it just ends,
you didn't need more.
but you didn't need anything
exactly,
else.
and that's one of those situations where it's like they let you fill in what you think happens next.
I'm glad that they.
Well, we
didn't.
kind of know what happens next. Kind of.
Well,
There's a detail that's left
Yeah.
out.
That's like a. I don't want to ever see that scene though.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
agree.
mean? Like
I agree.
That's like the fucking Bjork beating that dude to death scene in Dancer in the Dark. Never watch that movie. That'll ruin you for life. But yeah, I don't want to see that scene.
Good point, Brad. Let's shift gears again because we spent a lot of time talking about The Last of Us.
That was a really long and frustrating conversation. Because I don't like you guys are talking a lot about things that you can't really talk about.
It's one of, but the problem is it's The Last of
kinda
Us.
wish I'd
and
played
it's,
it before
yeah,
the show.
it's one of those games where it's phenomenal, but the problem is if you don't experience for yourself, it kind of
I'll tell you this,
ruins the
Crispy.
situation a little bit for you.
I'll tell you this, Crispy. Nothing we said here is going to ruin this experience for you.
Which
I
is
know,
why we
I
tried to
know.
keep it that way.
I know, but that's I know.
So
I know.
definitely play it.
I hope we effectively made you excited.
Do we convince you to like definitely want to go and play it now?
I did not want to play.
Yeah, you just you
I
can
just didn't
you
get
can come
around
over
to
to
it.
my house.
I'm going to go. I'm going to get my PlayStation back tomorrow and play it.
Cool. Fantastic. We have one more game to talk about this segment. Brad,
Oh,
Jazzpunk.
Jazzpunk. Hey, dude, Jazzpunk is a pretty cool game, and I guess y'all don't know much about it, but it's an indie game that I think it was at PAX. Maybe y'all saw it a little bit at PAX.
I did not.
Okay, this is a little hard to describe, but I would say it's kind of a first-person comedy game. Hey, that was well timed. It's like a first-person comedy game.
Mhm.
What?
It's like a first-person adventure game. You're like a spy kind of, and you're carrying out missions.
This is not at all what I expected.
You're kind of like and it's very spy versus spy. It has all kinds of like spy movie tropes and like noir film tropes and just like references like all over the place.
Mhm.
But it's got this real insane sense of humor where you don't just go and do your objective, you go and interact with everything in the world because everything in the world is like some joke. It's like you're playing. It's like you're playing like Airplane or like a Monty Python sketch or something.
This is not at all what I expected from this game. I thought it was
I
a
know,
music
this was,
game.
Like, it just looks so weird because everything, like when I first saw it, I was thinking like, are these like placeholder characters or something? Like,
This game is really silly.
do you have to make?
Like it's puns and jokes. Like I said, it's like Airplane humor. Like you'll see a moment in the video where like I go up to a phone and I start dialing numbers and like this weird little like hand comes up and I'm like, oh, that's a weird looking hand. And then when I'm done with it, like a little hand on a stick falls to the ground because apparently that's what my hand was. It's insane. Like just did you see this? It like all the voice acting is super fucking strange and like freaky.
Oh, is this the phone?
Yeah, like I say, it's like fucking everything is a joke in this game. It's like a first-person adventure game. Like even look at the footprints. They're just. It's just a really silly game. It's not super long. It's just like I think it was like a 3 or 4 hour experience. But the gameplay in this game is. By the way, when I knocked that dude off the bridge, it was the Wilhelm scream too. Just random.
Nice.
This game, it's kind of like this meta thing where the goal of the game is to try to find all the jokes in the environment because that is the highlight here. And I go up to some random pizza and it pulls me into a mini game where I'm killing pizza people, and then all of a sudden I'm in a fucking Evil Dead reference, and
oh my god! Oh shit!
References are crazy.
The ground is made of pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what else to say besides this is a really, really silly, funny game. Like there was one moment where like I had a mission. I was like a side quest, and this woman was like, "Help me! There's flies in my pottery shop," and she gives you like a fly swatter, right? So you go into the shop, and you're trying to kill all these flies that are flying
Is that a Pizza
around.
Hut?
Yeah.
It's a pizza cabin in the woods. So you have this giant fly swatter, and you're trying to swat all these flies, but they're flying around the room, and you're just destroying all the pottery. Like, hilariously, as you're just trying to kill these flies.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That makes sense. Then you complete your mission, you kill those flies, she says thank you, and then you hit her with the fly swatter, and she's like, I'm not that kind of girl. But then you go outside and you start swatting people, and the people start turning into giant flies and flying away. All of a sudden, it's like they live, and now you're trying to find all the people who are secretly fly people by hitting them with your fly swatter. It doesn't make any sense. This game is. It's like a Starburst commercial or a Skittles commercial. You know what I mean? You know how these days, like, candy commercials are just strange, like, non sequiturs. Like, they don't even make sense. They're just weird and bizarre and
The fire hydrant has googly eyes.
like I said, it's just like a comedy joke shop of the game. And
Is that a hooker?
yeah, dude. So like I come across this robot hooker.
Turning you on, robot.
You gotta hear this game too because it's called Jazzpunk. The music in this game is so fucking good, and just like the whole sound design of this game is crazy. Like you go over to one part of the city, and then like this one tune starts playing, but it's only over in this alley, and it's just like this great tune. But you walk away, and some other track starts playing. You'll see in this video, like I come up across this jazz guy, and he's like, oh, and I take one of his coins. He's like, oh man, what's up with that? And I give it back to him. He's like, oh, thanks, man. But then I take a coin, I go over to this robot hooker, and she totally robot sexes me. It's insane. There is some like adventure gamey type elements where you have an inventory of things.
Whoa. I hope you used encryption on the robot hooker because that's dangerous. You don't know.
I think she
what
says something
viruses
about.
she has.
No, watch this part.
She says using
There's this one part where there's this door that I have to get through, right? But it has a camera on it.
oh my god!
This door has a camera on it, and it's telling me I can't go through. I'm not the right person, right? So what I do is I grab a painting off the wall and I flip it around. It's like the Employee of the Month painting, and I hold the Employee of the Month painting up in front of the camera sensor, and it lets me through, right? Yeah. But I also find like a copying machine, so I go click on the copying machine, and then he sits on it, and like pictures of his butt come out. I grab one of the pictures of his butt and hold that up to the camera, and he's like, come on through, Mr. Buttsworth.
It doesn't even make any sense.
And in that, I don't want to spoil all the jokes. I'm just gonna do one more.
Okay.
I go into this next room, and there's a fire alarm on the wall, and I hit that, and then water starts going everywhere, fire, fire. Water goes everywhere, and then there's ice alarm on the wall, and I hit the ice alarm, starts spraying fire out, and then I get hit by the fire, and there's for some whatever reason the golden eye HUD as I lose health. This entire game is just stupid slapstick jokes, silly references, and it's fucking hilarious.
Is
It's
it
kinda
Fission.
It seems maybe
when I go near the fission chips, there's
Does it
what's the radiation meter?
Geiger count.
This kind of sounds like a little bit like, I mean, not exactly, but it has a little similarity to the Stanley Parable, and that it's a lot of just kind of
little jokes,
one after another, and some of them are kind
But
of meta.
this is straight up physical slapstick humor.
What are you doing?
Well, you have a very simple mission, and if you go just do the mission, this area would probably take you 20 minutes at the most.
But you just
But
get
it's
so
fucking
caught up
around in the
in-
world, poking at all and finding all these jokes that are just fucking hilarious. You
I
get
like
side
that,
quests and
I like
side
that guy
missions.
popping out from behind the flat tree.
Yeah.
The tree's flat, but he keeps popping out the
It's
side.
pretty clever.
I do recommend it if you like funny stuff. But there's not much more to it. It's this light adventure game with some adventure game elements. There's a little bit of
How much is
inventory
this?
swapping. I believe it's $15.
Okay.
And this is a game published by Adult Swim. They're really becoming
lately
a
they've been putting out
respectable
some actual good games.
indie game publisher.
Yeah.
Very, very early on in the game, the way you go into mission is to take missionol. And it's these pills you take until you wake up and you're in your mission.
after taking
Just again, one more joke. My mission giver, he's go, do this mission, take the mission all, and he's like, I'm gonna be down in my wine cellar, and he's behind the desk. All you see is sticking up above his desk. He's like, I'll be in my wine cellar, and then you see him kind of walk down behind the desk, but you're just in this tiny trailer, and you're like, what? And then you go peek behind the desk, and he's just passed out. It's silly. It's insane.
That's pretty awesome. I honestly, I wasn't expecting this. I thought this was a music game.
Yeah.
No, well, the music is fucking great. That's just this other thing. So,
Well, that's clever as hell. I
yeah.
didn't expect that. So that's Jazzpunk. And that's pretty much all we got impressions wise this week. Anything else you want to add real quick before we cut to break? We have a lot of stuff to talk about in the second segment.
I played more Dark Souls.
Yes, you did.
I defeated the Knight Artorias.
Oh, I didn't even fight. Yeah, he's DLC.
Yeah.
I didn't play the DLC.
Oh man, he was tough. And then I got to the boss of the DLC, and fuck that dude.
Fuck that.
dude. And that's in the 3.5 hours on Monday I played. All I did was fight the Knight Artorias and get through that section and then fight the fucking boss 18 times. Because he's so fucking hard.
Yeah.
Well, before we go to break, how are you still enjoying Bravely Default?
Yeah, I think I looked at my game clock a minute ago. I'm 12.5 hours in. And so yeah, I just unlocked the summoner class.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So no, I'm loving the game though. I mean, the thing is, I haven't hit that many side quests. I think only 2. And
That's odd for an RPG.
Maybe it's just because I'm still kind of almost in that intro kind of thing. You're still kind of they're still guiding you a little bit.
Maybe the demo sort of gave you a false impression.
That's right, because if you played the demo, there's fucking side quests coming out the goddamn ass. They're everywhere. But then I think I've played 3 side quests so far in the main. So I was just kind of confused because I'm am I missing something? I know I heard from people who had played the game that I should, make sure you do the side quest, but I didn't do any, and I was
Yeah,
I was
maybe it's
confused.
just one of those games that takes a while to really get into the side.
It could be
Heavy on side quests.
but no, I've been enjoying it. The dungeons are a lot bigger than what you thought from just playing the demo. The demo had 1 floor. Most of these dungeons are 3 or 4 floors of exploration and finding secret paths and whatever. And you were saying that you were worried that the town was going to break the game. The
Town building?
Yeah, what is it called?
Narinde?
Narinde. And so I have almost everything at the max level already. So I've unlocked all these items. But the thing,
Can't afford 'em.
I have 40 people in my town. But yeah, there's a fucking ring that like doubles your experience. It's like 200,000 money.
Wow.
I have like 18,000.
Yeah.
Like there's no way I'm gonna get that any. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. There's a bunch of good equipment, like 99,000. I mean, they're way expensive though. So even though it unlocks it, you have no way of buying it anytime soon.
What are your favorite classes so far? Just real quick.
Oh man. So I really like the monk. Super fucking OP. It's like ridiculous. I like the time mage, I guess is what it's called. And then there's also a new one I unlocked. Oh fuck, what was it called? Let me look it up real quick. No, that's fine. I have it right here.
Did you unlock the thief?
Yes, I unlocked the thief.
How many job classes do you have?
Do I have? I have. Let me see. I can look at it real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 right now. The spell fencer.
Oh, I heard that's a cool
the spell
class.
fencer's fucking awesome. So a spell fencer is like almost like, I guess, not a red mage, but similar. What they do is they cast spells on their weapons, and so it's a physical fighter, but they can cast fire on their sword or ice or whatever, and so they do that magic damage when they attack, but they're still really powerful. I don't know. There's a lot of great stuff. I can't even like begin. There's so many different and just adapting your characters and okay, so I'm gonna get him in this job and I'm gonna get him up to this job level so he learns this ability. So now he'll have that ability, so I can switch him to this job class, but he can still use that sub ability when he stuff like that. Just like mixing and matching.
I'm still early and I don't have many classes. Like I don't even think I mean the last class I got I think is the night class.
Yeah, you're super early. Then,
yeah, but I'm worried that I'm not doing it right.
No,
like 3 of my characters are monk right now because I feel like that makes
it makes the beginning so easy. Just
right.
Monks are so fucking overpowered.
I feel that way about every RPG that I start.
Yeah.
But you
seriously, like I've had Tiz as a monk for like half the game, and usually when I auto battle, the battle's over before anyone else fights. Like just Tiz does his 4 attacks.
It still fucking drives me crazy when he attacks first when he's slower than 2 other people in my party that are the same fucking class.
And not knowing who's gonna go win this kind of stuff.
All right.
We gotta
move on. I'll play some. I'm probably gonna play some Bravely Default tomorrow night during my broadcast live.
I was so pissed because I had to download the game.
Yeah.
And your DS comes with mine came with a 4 gig card.
Yeah.
And so I had to download it, and it's like almost like half the card. It's so big, and I was like
so big.
Anyway.
So big.
And so I was freaked because I had to delete Phoenix Wright. Because I downloaded that.
Yeah.
I mean, I kept the save data, so I still have that. So when I re-download it, but the funny thing is there was something wrong with I don't know, for some reason on my phone, the memory card was draining the battery. I mean the micro SD card for some reason. Some way that a program was accessing it was draining the battery, so I had to take it out. But I knew there was nothing wrong with the micro SD card, so now I have that in my DS, and it's 32 gigs.
Yeah.
And so now I have like fucking 200,000 blocks of free space on there.
Nice.
I'm download everything.
That would be a good time.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna take a break as we always do. When we come back, there's actually some pretty big news this week. We're actually gonna cover a topic we forgot to mention last week, having to do with Amazon, which was a big deal. I don't know how we somehow managed to forget that. Also, there's some big news involving Irrational Games that happened just today. So we'll talk about that and a few other things. And, of course, do community, 4-player minute, and wrap up the show. Or chatter of the week and wrap up the show with the 4-player minute. I somehow got that backwards. Anyways, don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back in just a second. Assuming that nobody else thought that way.
And some Xbox Ones.
Everybody's got Xbox Ones.
Yeah. Are those really? Or is that sarcasm?
You can trip over Xbox Ones.
Is that sarcasm?
No, I swear to God.
Oh, so I wouldn't have
Xbox Ones everywhere.
No. I went to Costco last weekend with Bernadette. A fucking stack this high,
Perfect.
like that wide.
I was worried I was
going
gonna have to do some searching.
If you want to go get an Xbox One,
you can go anywhere.
Like you just go
fucking
anywhere.
hobos are selling Xbox Ones.
Yeah. You're gonna trip over one trying to find one.
Yeah.
PS4 is a little different.
They're elusive. They're kind of like Easter eggs.
So I got the hard one out of the way, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Nick already took the hard one for the team.
Although I don't know. I mean, if Titanfall,
that was the Wii U.
If Titanfall starts getting a shit ton of really good reviews and everyone's like just waiting,
I'm probably gonna go buy my
my
Xbox One before Titanfall actually hits.
Can you also order me like a 6 foot.
Looking Titanfall Xbox One bundle.
What?
That's coming.
Ooh.
Really?
There you go, Nick.
I really hope there's not like a fucking. They're gonna announce that Metal Gear PS4 bundle like next week or after I buy one. I'll flip my shit.
Oh, they're going to.
Maybe it's worth it to wait a little bit.
Gonna be coming here.
Or like I feel like there might be an Infamous. I feel like there's gonna be some bundle of
No,
that.
there will be.
Why don't you hurry up and buy one so that they'll announce it so that I can go buy one of the bundle is.
And then y'all can trade.
Thing is, why would you want to buy the Ground Zeroes bundle when you should be buying the Phantom Pain bundle?
Well, because the Phantom Pain bundle is not going to come out for like
It's
another
gonna be like
year.
another-
Yeah, just wait until 2016, Brad.
But the thing is, it 2016 or 2015?
Oh, I don't know.
15.
Who fuck knows at this point?
God damn it!
Well, they
20.
said
Because
definitely by
2020.
the end of 2015.
You know that the Ground Zeroes PS4 is going to be the next version of the PS4. You know,
Whatever the slim PS4.
not necessarily the slim one,
Wait,
but
you
it's
Wait, you
think
mean the
they're
Phantom
gonna
Pain?
launch? They're gonna launch a different model PS4 within
Nick,
a
I need you
year,
to order
year
me
and a half.
something.
probably.
Okay,
What?
just send it.
Probably.
Just a 6
How long
foot
did it take
HDMI
them to
cable.
do the slim version of
Oh.
PS3?
You mean
The easiest way for you to do
might
that,
even
I
have-
mean, they release different.
Just find it on
models
Amazon,
of
the exact one you
PS3
want, and
within,
just
like,
send
the
me an
first
email.
2 years.
With the link.
They were in the same box, but they had different
they did,
hardware.
like the 80 gig.
All right.
Yeah.
They're cheaper
All
on
they did
mono
was-
price.
All right, folks.
No, it was also different hardware though.
It's time to get started.
Remove the backwards compatibility.
They removed it via the having a separate laser that read the disc, and it was software based instead of
Emulator.
hardware based.
Chip or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We ready? I'm already
ready.
recording, so we can just jump right into this shit.
Jump.
I might give Chris Davis a few seconds to get ready with it. All right, he's ready to
Jump
go.
up and get down.
What was that, Nolan? Yeah.
Maple bacon.
What was that thing that happened along? Oh God, what was that moment? Yeah. What was that from?
The dog. Yeah.
I swear to God, I lose my shit every time I go back and watch that clip of our Skype call with the cloud and the moon. Oh man, that's some funny shit.
Fucking Giant Bomb ripped us off, dude.
Yeah.
I swear to fucking God, like they did a podcast over Skype like a month ago or so, and Vinny was doing those faces like with the moon and shit. Fucking amateurs.
That was by far the funniest thing I think we've ever done. Just saying that right now.
Well, hey Nick,
Hey, Brad.
what was the funniest thing we ever did in 2013?
That's a good question, Brad. I
I'm
don't
pretty
know.
sure is when I chunked the bottle across the room and it bounced off your mic and hit you in the
I
face.
said 2013.
That was 2013.
I don't think that made the cut. Anyways, what Brad was alluding to is that guys, there is a poll up on the website at 4playernetwork.com where you can go vote for your 10 favorite 4-player moments of 2013. It's available on the site right now. You can access it. There's a post on the front page. There's also a link up in the top left corner. Click that. There are 100 clips from last year that were handpicked by you guys.
100?
100.
Wow.
And you can go through those and you can tell us your 10 favorites. I think our plan is to leave that up through Friday, so through the end of this week. And then we are going to compile our final top 10 video of 2013, which is going to be the community's favorite moments of 4-player moments of 2013. So please, if you haven't done so already, go check that shit out. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to getting that video out for you guys.
You know what?
But you know what I don't look forward to?
Do you know what
What, Brad?
Malia's favorite clip ever is? She told me this
What?
a couple times. Her favorite clip is the one where I'm sitting in the podcast room by myself and she tosses me something and like a popsicle or something and it hits my finger wrong and I go, ow. And then the clip ends. She says she watched it like 40 times in a row.
Nice.
That was pretty good. Anyways, if you want to tell us your favorite moments of last year, please go check out the poll and take it. We really appreciate it. But now
Take it right in the poll.
we need to go talk about something that we need to have a serious. God damn it, Brett! We have to have a serious conversation, guys, about Irrational Games.
Wait, before that, shouldn't we do the news from last week?
No, we're doing that last.
Oh, okay.
Just go with it, Brad. Just go with it.
Irrational Game. Serious conversation.
They're being very irrational.
Yeah. Ken Levine's being very irrational.
Ken Levine. Okay, so it was
We don't
announced.
know the whole story and contracts and all this.
Of course, we don't know the whole story. It's so the news because the news that broke today was that Irrational Games, as we know it, is now dead. They basically laid off all but 15 members of the core
It's
Irrational
like
team.
185 people
That's
roughly
a lot of people.
lost their jobs,
It is now down to 15 people.
including Sean Elliott.
So yeah, Sean Elliott was laid off. That
He was,
sucks.
he was looking for work. Hey, and that the direct hit clip is on it, but it only has 7 votes, which is 1%. Go
Sorry.
vote for direct hit.
Hey, stop it! You can't influence the vote. Only Your Way Brighter Day is that allowed to happen.
Anyways, so here's my question. So is it I've seen conflicting reports, or maybe it's just the way in which multiple outlets have chosen to word this, but it seems some people are saying that Irrational is shutting down. Some people are saying it's restructuring.
It's effectively shut down.
Yeah, no, it's gone.
So they're not going to be called Irrational Games
No,
anymore.
it's done.
Yeah, no, yeah, Irrational's gone.
That's a new. There's a new studio headed up by Ken Levine. That's
Correct.
very small. With
Like
according
15
to them,
people.
yeah, 15 people focused on digital titles.
Yeah.
It's
I was
Irrational Games is gone. The people who made System Shock 2 to BioShock Infinite, they're gone.
Jesus.
And they're gone.
They are gone.
So-
But the funny thing, and I love when I see it happen, and well, I hate when I see it
That's a
happen.
terrible thing to say,
Yeah,
Nolan.
but I love when I see, like Sean Elliott tweeted, like, "Oh, I'm looking for a job,"
Oh.
and then like 343 tweeted at him, and they were like, "Hey, you give us a
Yeah.
call," and like I love when other game companies are like, "That sucks, give us a call."
The thing is,
Like,
this industry is so that is so rampant in this industry with studios just closing down out of the blue that this community that they kind of have as developers, they kind of works in such a way that they just start fairly quickly. I mean, major developers end up like well-known people out that are working, or people working on well-known teams. Typically, don't seem to have much trouble finding a new gig.
That's the thing. These people shipped BioShock games. They're probably going to be all right. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
looks really fucking good on a resume if they want to keep making video games somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's in Boston, so it's not like there's not other video game companies there. I mean, Boston, is pretty big in terms of video games, but here's
Words, Brad. Words.
I feel like it's good, but it's also like is it always a good thing that other companies are like saying, "Hey, come here, you just got laid off"? Is there like I feel like they make it seem like it's charity or something,
not necessarily,
but they
I don't think it is.
fucking want talented ass people,
exactly.
and they're gonna choose this dude who just worked on BioShock and not some fucking student who's been building a
Well, because
portfolio.
it's a pretty- he has
insular
experience.
community. I mean, this is what happens. This is where a lot of these. That's why it's so hard to break into
That's
this
exactly.
industry.
So that's what I was
Like,
saying. So when I first graduated high school, I kind of thought I wanted to do game design, and I started looking into the industry and seeing how hard it is to get into it because of the fact that people who develop games, once they get their foot in the door, they're never out to an extent. I mean, they do it for 20, 30 years, and they keep, and every once in a while they'll hire someone. But look at studios like Irrational, who recently closed, but they've been together for a long time. Look at like Bethesda. I mean, look at like all these companies, the ones that make the best games. They don't hire new people out of school. They keep the people they have, and when another company closes, they invite someone over because they know they're proven to be good. You can take the chance on this new kid out of school and pay him less, but the problem is it's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
And
Or
so
take the guy that shipped 3 or 4 games already.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I know. I'm just. I don't know. The other thing is about this whole story that sucks. Like, if the makers of BioShock Infinite can't make it as a studio,
Well, this kind of
what does this say about AAA development?
That's the thing. Why did this happen?
No, so-
Was this a financial thing?
Yes, yes.
Are you
yes.
positive?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
2K would not let this happen or not shut down the studio. This is not. Ken Levine's taking the blame. Like, this is a 2K. BioShock Infinite cost this many millions and millions of dollars, and it didn't sell, enough to like be like this super profitable thing. And this studio was kind of bloated. They had a lot of people that made like a game that, only sold. It's like the Tomb Raider thing.
Mhm.
Tomb Raider might seem like a big success because it sold so many million copies,
two
but
million something or whatever. What was
no,
it?
it's like over fucking 5 million copies
But
or
I still
something,
considered it a
or
loss.
3 to 4
a
million.
loss.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, this happens all the time. Like, this is definitely not the first time we've seen major studios
You say
go
that.
through this.
No, you're right. But I mean, I feel like this is the fucking example of like, dude, like Candy Crush is making, fucking $500,000 a day or whatever, some bullshit, right? And the creators of BioShock and BioShock Infinite that literally just shipped. I mean, had shipped 2 of the most critically acclaimed games of the past generation, and just sold multiple millions. If they can't even make it,
The
Like,
thing that sucks about that, and just fucking King.com, is I hate any person that plays those games. Like, my girlfriend plays Candy Crush. But the thing is, 99.9% of the games that company puts out are complete rip-offs of other games.
Yeah.
And that it just sucks because, like, recently I saw an article about there's a guy who released a game that was Candy Crush, like, fucking, like, 3 years ago or something, 4 years ago. And, like, before, Candy Crush was even a thought. And they blatantly ripped it off, and now they're making money, and he's not. He released on Android, I think, or something like that. And it just sucks when, if you don't ever play a King.com game, because they're literally just stealing money from people. And it fucking
Lots
sucks.
of money, though.
Yeah,
Lots
of
of
money.
money.
But I mean, how do you rationalize making these big budget games that can't make back their budget when people? I mean, how much do you think Candy Crush cost to make?
Nothing,
Some
because
bullshit
they make it all.
little
I'm
mobile
sure
game.
Candy Crush probably cost maybe $5,000 to $10,000, if even.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Even Ken Levine is like, dude, we should make smaller games because,
But,
what's the point?
and yes, this sucks. I do love Irrational Games, and I would have loved to see what they would go on to do. But 2 things are going to come out of this. One, the people who worked on BioShock are going to be disseminated throughout the industry, and they're going to have influence in other studios. Second of all, I feel like Ken Levine is maybe taking this because he's, obviously reduced the studio to like 15 people. So, and he's focusing on digital titles. This to me feels like they're trying to position themselves more like a Supergiant Games type studio, where they're producing really really polished, really appealing, aesthetically pleasing.
Well,
It's gonna be
with these games,
more
it's not
higher
it's,
scope than that.
exactly. With these games, it's not just about the gameplay; it's about the story and the storytelling and the elements and the emotions that come with the game. It's not just fucking Candy Crush where you're just blindly, mindlessly doing the same shit over and over again. A lot of thought goes into these games, which is why they take a lot longer to develop and which is why they're so much more expensive.
Yeah, but they'll build really well done, cheaper games that they're going to sell a shit ton of copies for. They're going to make a lot of money, and they will eventually build back up to the point where they can afford to make a AAA game again, or at least
Or
have someone
even-
trust them enough to publish them making a AAA game.
Even
This is
if
not
it's-
this is not the last time I think we'll see a AAA game
But
from
even
the
if it's
people who
not a
made
AAA
BioShock.
game, like even if these are smaller games, it doesn't mean that they can't have that same level of character, that same level of development and
Exactly.
care that go into them. They're just making a different type of game.
Exactly, like,
this
look-
is kind of just more shifting into like the indie space.
Yeah,
if
Yeah.
nothing
and
else.
I'm fine with that, provided it's not, provided they don't fucking pull a chair
Wow.
and start releasing.
just
fucking,
do mobile games,
exactly.
yeah.
I mean, but look at something like Dust or or Bastion with Supergiant Games. These are games that were developed by very small teams, but made a huge fucking impact because they were able to do something. I'm not saying it's a good thing that Irrational broke up. It fucking sucks that so many people lost their jobs. But I mean, hopefully either they find jobs, or maybe those developers who lost their job, who maybe were the kind of the core. Sometimes you see these companies go under and they fire people. And some of the best ideas come from those people who got fired, but they were the underlings who didn't get paid attention to as much. And hopefully maybe they even band together and create their own studio and release something amazing.
Yeah.
This is like stirring the pot. It sucks at the time, but really good things can
This
come
is
from
why
this.
the industry
Like,
looks so different from one year to the next, because these things happen all the time, and it sucks. It's horrible.
But
at
really
the same
good
time,
things
it's-
could come out of this.
But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but
down
it's
the
a bummer.
line.
I think
You know,
the
a
bigger
lot of these-
question right now is what's going to happen with BioShock, because that series ain't over.
No, 2K is gonna take it over. That's what they said.
They're gonna just
2K
develop it
just-
themselves.
2K, it's just like a internal 2K team,
Yeah.
like 2K Marin, who did BioShock 2.
Well, 2K Marin, they also shut down.
Oh yeah, that's
after-
right.
After the bureau failed, but
Oh shit.
no, I mean there's still money in the BioShock name, and they'll make probably what BioShock 2 was to BioShock Infinite or something of some sort. But
But there's value in those experiences. It's just, it may not be the high point of that series. We may have seen it. It may have come and gone.
the whole thing is super just lame and gross, and it's a bummer because I don't care so much about where BioShock was going to go. That's a talented team,
Yeah.
regardless of what I thought of Infinite. And I kind of like before BioShock Infinite was announced, I just want to see them do something new. Like we thought. Remember before we found out that Irrational Games was working on BioShock Infinite, we just knew that they were working on something new.
Mhm.
And like that was what we were excited about, is finally finding out what Irrational Games was working on. We were a little bit deflated when we found out it was a new BioShock game, but then when they showed it, it was like, oh wow, this really is something new. It's just a bummer. It's a real
Yeah,
bummer.
it
But
is.
I still
Bummers all the
expect
way around.
a lot out of the BioShock. I mean, the Ken Levine's team. It's just leaves a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth. Like you kind of just want to tell them to fuck off a little bit, but
Just a little.
just a little. Yeah.
Just a tad. All right, let's talk about something a little less. Well, this is weird. This is also weird and unexpected. So Harmonix.
Mm-hmm.
Harmonix is known for rock band,
Yep.
obviously,
Mhm.
and they've been kind of the driving
Guitar
force
Hero
between
originally, right?
the people who made Guitar Hero. Yeah,
Do you know what's funny about the last topic to this topic?
what
Was Harmonix was actually found
by people
by people who left Looking Glass.
who made Guitar Hero.
No,
Wait,
Looking Glass are the people who made Thief and System Shock.
Oh, man,
those are the guys that went on to make Irrational Games. Some of those people made Irrational Games. Some of those people left and created Harmonix.
So now this is kind of coming full circle, in some ways. I guess.
Because now Harmonix is making a first-person shooter,
So what the
and Irrational's making nothing.
Jesus Christ.
Well, they're making something.
Well, no, they're not. Irrational Games is
Yeah, Rational's
dead.
gone.
This is a news. Ken Levine's thing is new. His studio is new.
It's going to be called Ken Levine
But
and Friends.
Harmonix
Yes.
is making.
Harmonix announced their new game,
Mhm.
which has no title, I think, at the moment.
No, not
They
that
just
I
kind
know.
of showed a screenshot. Maybe was it gameplay as well, or
There's a video. There's a trailer.
they're making
It's a musical first-person shooter.
yeah
Uh,
first-person shooter.
I think
and a music
some
game.
stuff just came up the other day as well. Some more information on it. I think I didn't.
It doesn't surprise me. Obviously, anything that comes out of Harmonix, I feel like kind of has to have a musical twist to it.
Yeah.
Although I can't, for the life of me, really imagine the logistics of a musical first-person shooter. Honestly, I'm sure it'll make much more sense.
It looks like there was dubstep guns, kind of.
Yeah. I think
Well,
so.
the whole I trust Harmonix to do something cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It'll be unique.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what if it is like a full-blown, like fast-paced first-person shooter type experience, but all your guns are like musical themed?
when you say musical first-person shooter, I think of like a first-person shooter based on like the Music Man or something.
I think of
like
like
a
Rez or
first-person
something.
shooter that has like sweeping Broadway musical numbers and everything.
I think more of the Doctor Who Christmas special when the robots had like tubas and trombones that were guns.
Yeah,
That's what I think of.
This could go any way. Like right now,
Robots?
anything's possible.
There's a lot of robots.
Anything is possible right now.
It could be anything, but it'll have guns and music.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever
I like both of those things.
Assuming, I mean,
Maybe you could play a violin and a music note would come out of it, and then you grab the music note and you hit someone in the
smash
face with
somebody
it.
with it.
It's
Could
a
there
little
be-
weird though.
Custom soundtracks.
It makes you wonder, like, is there just no more money in music and rhythm games that now they have to resort to making
apparently
a
there
shooter?
isn't because they completely discontinued Rock Band and all that.
Yeah, but
God, I'm so glad that
but at the same time, Dance Central was still pretty popular, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But was that about its
Yeah.
music, or is that more about?
Yeah, less involved with the music and more
They-
involved with the
yeah,
actions and the
I'm just glad that that era of gaming is over. The plastic instrument era.
That was
honestly.
a great era, you know.
Yeah.
Like I got,
I
I
loved
got.
Guitar Hero.
I mean, I liked it too.
just
but
because you were bad at it.
No, it wasn't even about I mean, I was bad at it, but it wasn't even the fact that I was bad at it. It was just that like it became like every year there was a new like plastic instrument that
that's
you would
true.
have to buy to make the shit work. I feel like if they had made like a really solid controller and then just used that and just released new iterations on that gameplay using that same controller year after year, it wouldn't have been so bad.
Well,
But
the
they were
problem
like,
is the thing is they improved the technology, and so the controllers became better. But the issue is they had to keep coming out with new ones.
Which
and
I
so
think-
You didn't have
quickly.
to buy. I mean, I played all the Rock Band games with my Guitar Hero 3 controller, and it was fun.
I just think it's, I don't know. It's just,
I wonder if the new Harmonix game will have Kazoos.
did somebody subscribe? God
No.
damn it, Brad. What have you done? Anyways, so yeah, I'm sure we'll learn more about that in the coming months. But that certainly did come out of left field. But now, I want Brad. Well, I guess y'all are probably all more informed about this than I am.
probably.
What is going on with this whole Twitch plays Pokemon thing?
Oh, dude.
It's-
I've been out of the. I've been so busy.
it's
I've been out of the loop. I don't even
ultimate
know.
social
All
experiment.
right, so yeah, long story short.
Based on your conversation before, I was kind of trying to piece together what was happening here, and I think I have
long
it.
story short, it's a quote social experiment is
Yes.
what they're calling it. But it is essentially they have a server up somewhere that's running an emulator of Pokemon. Which one is it?
Isn't it
Red,
blue?
Red.
blue.
Yeah, whatever it is. Old
It's
school
one
Pokemon.
of red or blue.
The
They
first
just
one.
mentioned
Yes.
it.
And how it works is on the Twitch page when you input a command up, down, left, right, A, B,
In chat.
in chat, it will register that command, and that's what the character will do.
In real time.
Sounds pretty simple, right?
Despite the
Except
fact that
there's-
there's also a huge delay.
Well, yeah, there is a delay. There's like 30 to 40-second delay.
Except there's like thousands of people.
No, there's not thousands. There's like 70,000
Yeah.
Yeah.
people all playing at the
Just
same time.
constant spam.
So there's this
Blah, 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 blah,
constant wall of text going. What was that, Chris Davis? Apparently got up to 95,000 people. And so there's this giant wall of text of people trying. But the thing is, if it was just a small community, it'd be fine. But there's people in there who will constantly just start.
So it's
Start.
pausing.
Start. So pause. They were in like Team Rocket's headquarters, and if you don't remember that,
Are
there's this-
they? Were they?
Yeah, they
or
got
are
out. They got out. I'm pretty sure.
Vermilion
Yeah.
City or Viridian?
What, they got
Yeah.
locked in there?
No,
For
so
over a
what
day.
it is there's this a path, and you have to if you step on like a block, it'll send you in that direction. You kind of have to take the right path, but people kept fucking it up. You know, people kept saying, you know, it'll take them days to go a short distance. They'll release Pokemon into the wild. They'll, you know, be in a battle and they'll, with 1 HP left, use Whirlwind instead of like, healing or something. Just because people they just want to be fucking trolls.
Or
And so
that-
they
well,
will.
that-
It's not
you know,
even
that's
the
the
people.
experiment.
It's so
Yeah.
hard to like even tell when
Yeah.
your command's gonna
Exactly,
come up.
so-
Like
So even people with good intentions who are trying to work together will have like just because of the delay and because there's so many people, horrible things will happen.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
they'll
so
they'll
funny.
accidentally get rid of like their best Pokemon and people would just
or keep looking at items.
But
in
do
their
you know
inventory.
when your command has gone through?
no.
Yeah, it'll pop.
No,
Yes, no, so on the screen it shows Pokemon and it shows all of the commands that are being accepted. It'll actually show the chatter's name and what command was input.
yeah.
So yeah, you
So,
will see.
so everybody knows who to blame when
like,
something
like
goes
when you
terribly
can see
wrong.
that J52
Well,
was on there playing.
There's too much there. But it's the chat reactions that are so hilarious and the memes that occur. You know, like there was a Pidgeotto savior
yeah.
at some point,
Mhm.
and I started seeing pictures of like the Lord's Supper but with Pokemon
Yeah.
and stuff, and it
Bill Clinton and like the Amorite or whatever the fucking stone was. There's a lot of things that have come out of it, but it's because there's I mean, this is a thing. that's
Clary
been-
on the prophet.
Yeah, there's been things because this has been going
no,
on
he's
for
the
how?
false prophet.
Yeah, how long has this been going on now? Like.
Several days.
6 days, I think.
Yeah, so it's the fact that it's been going on for 6 days, and there's constantly at least in the double digits or like thousands of people always at 24 hours in there playing it.
You gotta understand, it's like tens of thousands of people trying to work together to collectively, swap some Pokemon out on the PC in the Pokemon hospital or whatever, right? Just imagine that. It's hilarious because you see people going up and down, left and right, up, back, left and right, just running against a wall over and over and over again because there's so many commands, and they're all just so many people are trying to accomplish the simplest of tasks. But that's what makes it funny. It's the chaos, and that people are trying to actually make progress within pure fucking chaos. You know, and on top of that, you have trolls and stuff. You know, it's insane. Like, there were just these hilarious gifs that were popping out of like, I can't even describe.
How many badges have they gotten?
I think 3.
Yeah.
Jesus, they're
Like,
actually.
the fact that they're
Or
even
2?
like
I
progressing
don't
through
even know.
gym badges
Yeah.
is astounding. Like,
Well, it's not like they win the battle on their first
no,
try.
I
mean-
know, but like I popped in and watched for like, I don't know, 15,
4 hours.
20
No,
minutes.
yeah, things don't happen
No,
in minutes.
it's
Yeah,
so
hours.
like, well, I know,
Yeah.
obviously, but like when you just watch this, you're like, how is anything getting done? It's literally like the character running against the wall, and then he gets into a battle, and then he switches Pokemon, and then he runs away, and then he runs into a wall for another 20 minutes, and then like the fact that they have 3 gym badges is like mind-boggling.
There's like this one area where like you're following a path, but if you just hit down, you like jump. It's like the equivalent of like jumping down the cliff
those
or whatever.
those paths that you can.
Well,
Like,
it's one of those things.
navigating through that's
it's a big
hilarious.
rectangle with a bunch of like they're all tiered, and so the higher you
Yeah.
go up, the higher you go up on the screen, the higher level it is. So you can always hop down, and there's one path that will get you where you need to go. And they were about to go the right way, and then someone said down, and they fell off, and they had to start all over again.
Yeah,
Just-
that's just oh my god.
But the thing is, it's some people are trying to be helpful, yes, but in that situation,
Doesn't matter.
down is never helpful. But thousands of people are putting it down just
Yeah.
because.
Yeah, and then what you have, you see a lot of people like counter programming the people that they know are gonna like press start.
Yeah.
So you have all these people
Pressing
hitting
B.
B because they know there are gonna be people pressing
So they
start
want to get out
to
of
get
the
out
start
of the
screen.
fucking
Yeah.
start menu. It's insane. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it. But apparently there's other channels that are popping up that are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I watched this one that was Twitch plays Dark Souls.
Oh God.
It didn't last
How
very
does that
long.
even-
It doesn't even work really for that. It was
Well,
Oh
of
my
course
God.
not, because that's so reliant.
You'd never
on,
get
the
like,
guy
out
was
of
like
the
taking
fucking asylum.
taking a step. He was killing some things, but yeah, I think he was using an overpowered character, the bot or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
But it's just stupid.
But there's so many
I would-
more like I don't know.
I would love to see them do like an old school Final Fantasy or something like that,
That'd be cool, yeah.
like Final Fantasy VI. That'd be great. But
It's an interesting phenomenon.
or Final Fantasy V, where you're like changing job classes and stuff. And they're like, all right, everyone, let's switch to ninja.
ninja.
And then you end up with like all white mages. Right?
It's just an interesting phenomenon.
You really have to watch it for just 10 minutes to really fully understand what's going on. It's a lot of it's just chat reaction. It's so hilarious.
We'll check it out for a couple.
check where they are right
Is Helix a Pokemon? Everyone
No, Helix is the item.
screaming Helix.
That's the fucking item they kept looking at in their inventory. They just kept looking at the same item like over and over and over
That's
for
right.
like
That's
hours.
right. I saw them. They were in that Rocket Team Rocket headquarters, and they accidentally used the escape rope.
Yeah.
People like lost their shit because they had made progress.
Back
Hey,
outside.
the featured game is Pokemon Red Blue with 106,000 people viewing it.
God.
Good lord.
The thing is they're never gonna get through the fucking game, which means this channel's gonna be. It's a bot. The channel doesn't have to like go like.
Yeah.
It's not like you guys think I'm tired. I gotta stop, guys. It can go forever. Twitch could just be permanently fucked because of this one goddamn channel. Pretty sure that's
I mean,
why.
I think we're seeing the repercussions of it
So-
right now.
Exactly.
They keep looking at their gym badges right now, just over and
How
over.
many do they have?
And they have 4 gym badges.
Oh, God.
And so right now,
But
all
look
that's
at this.
going on
Oh,
is
there's a meter too now where they change the programming to recognize democracy and anarchy as one of the chat commands, and all it does is they have a meter on the top of the screen that goes from either democracy to anarchy. It doesn't have any effect in Pokemon. He just programmed it to where now there's this constant thing going. So you have some people typing up, down, left, right, or whatever, and then the rest of the spam is just anarchy, 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 democracy, 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 just because they want to see the meter go more towards democracy or more towards anarchy.
I don't like. Oh.
But I think the game is probably becoming functionally more playable
well since
because
they put
other
that
people
in,
are spamming that.
Yeah.
It's so interesting though that like
It's like
You could
it's like a distraction, like something it's like a little bell they're playing for the trolls.
Yeah.
They're like getting their attention. Like, just pay attention to the anarchy and democracy over here. And then people are like, okay, they're distracted. Go ahead and let's actually try and make some progress. That's how they're doing
You
There
it.
actually
actually is
get
some
like
interesting.
you get some sort of like ordered system of control out of chaos. Like even
Yeah.
if thousands of people are just throwing random commands at a game, if you let them do that for 6 days straight, you'll eventually have like 4 gym badges.
6 days,
Like-
6 days, 3 hours,
No.
14 minutes, and 9
Not,
seconds.
not just that, but you'll start to see people really
So like
care.
anybody who's never been able to beat this game, like literally has no excuse. Like
No, what I'm saying is like this really is an interesting social experiment.
Yeah.
Where you see all these people come in who just want to troll, but over time, like these people want to see progress, and they'll
Yeah.
start helping the cause, and
They'll just-
and it's kind of remarkable. So there was this other channel that popped up where it's instead of Twitch plays Pokemon, it was RNG plays Pokemon, and it was a random number generator that was tied to all the different commands in the game, like up, down, left, right, A, B, start.
So it's all random.
So
Every single
a
faction in the game-
It's a computer playing.
Computer
a-
randomly playing Pokemon, but and this is what I heard: the playthrough of it ultimately became like ended because the random number generator deleted or released Charmander, and his only other Pokemon was Magikarp, and it couldn't progress in the game.
Oh wow! So somebody created a document. So the current goal is they need to pick up the Sliff Scope. They have 4 badges. The pewter badge, I don't know what they're called. It took them 9 hours to get it. The water badge, it took them 1 day, 8 hours. The sun looking flower badge took them 2 days,
That's
11
the thunder
hours,
badge.
20 thunder. Yeah.
So
and,
it's taking progressively longer.
and the 4th badge
The
took
rainbow
4
badge.
days and 47 minutes to get.
So it's like
they've
getting-
seen 75 Pokemon. They own 12. Their current party.
Because they've let a bunch go.
Yeah,
or-
yeah. Their current party is a level 22 Oddish, a level 15 Rattata, a level 20 Farfetch'd, and then a level 45 Pidgeot.
Jesus Christ.
How the fuck they get a fucking Pidgeot?
I remember like there was one Pokemon, I don't even remember what it was, but it was called like A capital AAAACK because they accidentally changed his name to like
Yeah. Oh, here you go. Okay, so non-party Pokemon. These are Pokemon that they've released or no longer have. So Flareon, the False Prophet, level 25,
They have
released
nicknames.
at 5 days, 17 hours, 45 minutes. ABBBBBBK, or Abby, which is a level 34 Charmeleon, was
No.
released at 4 days, 8 hours. They have a JLVWNNOOO, or J Leno, the level 13 Rattata, which was released at 4 days, 8 hours, and a level 15 Spearow, which was traded for Ducks, which is the Farfetch'd, at 2
that
days,
was-
6 hours.
I heard that was like a dramatic moment.
Because I think they came up to a random NPC who you could trade a Pokemon with. I think is what happened.
That's quite honestly hilarious.
The Charmander, I think
That's
that was the
tragic.
one that everyone like
Let's
flipped
see.
out about.
They've tossed a Moonstone. They've tossed a Nugget. They've tossed the Teleport TM.
my God.
They've tossed
God damn it.
a TM21 Mega Drain, a Double Edge, a Horn Drill. Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
In the Helix, you can't get rid of it.
How do they?
I don't know
How
if
do you
this-
catch a Pokemon in
The
this
Helix is a
system?
fossil.
Because it's all simplistic
have to-
commands. Like simple
Yeah.
games, you could.
I just mean, but I mean, like you have to hurt a Pokemon to get its health down to a certain point, but then not attack again, and somehow throw a Pokeball, and then it. Like,
You just gotta hope that somebody
oh my God.
puts the throw Pokeball command in there before someone
Well,
else
it's not that
hits
it's
the
a
attack
throw
button
Pokeball
again.
command.
Well,
It's
it's
they need to
item.
go down,
They have to hit
right to Pokeballs, and then they need to
bag.
select the. Yeah, they have to go to
Oh,
bag. and
Jesus fucking
so
Christ.
yeah, that's
How
why.
the fact that they opened up the bag, found the Pokeball, threw the Pokeball, and it worked is crazy.
But it's all at some point with so many.
But that's just it. Like out of 6 full days of just chaos, something begins to emerge.
No, it's just
Like-
so funny to like
Here's
see
what-
them try to get to the Pokemon thing to like heal their Pokemon, and
Yeah.
it's just getting through a door is like triumphant.
this is what blows my mind. Like, I understand how this could potentially happen, how you could make progress in a game doing this, but I feel like it would take a lot longer than 6 days to get up to 4 badges. doing it that way.
Dedicated fucking people. Democracy is winning
Democracy is winning right now.
by far.
Wait, so
I think
when the meter's like at democracy, it doesn't like
It doesn't affect anything.
change the mode. It's not like, oh, we're only going to accept commands that
No,
are
I
input
think
more
it
times.
accepts the most input command. Like whatever everyone agrees on
And
is
if
what
you
it ends
move
up.
it to anarchy, it's just every
Yeah,
command
every command
pushed
gets
through.
taken.
You know how the person who's running this channel, you know how they make a lot of money? Throw it into like subscriber mode for an hour.
Oh god, yeah.
Only subscribers can progress the game.
They make a lot of money doing
Oh
that.
Jesus Christ!
Well, they're already making a shit ton off of ads.
I don't think that it's running ads.
Oh, I just got an ad when I loaded it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And they currently have 100,000 people in there.
Jesus Christ.
That is mind-boggling.
The thing is, this is like a moment in time. It's only gonna be like this moment, you know. Like there's people who are gonna try to like copy this, but they'll never be as popular. This is never gonna be something that catches on. This is just like a moment.
Hey, remember
we are experiencing.
Remember that Twitch plays Pokemon?
Exactly. Because people will try to do it, and it's just not gonna be successful.
Damn it, guys! Why didn't we come up with this?
Twitch plays Papers, Please.
It's pretty.
You can't do that.
No,
Anyways.
you need that's
Mouse
mouse
commands.
and keyboard.
Let's move on. This is very interesting. As much as I would love to keep talking about Pokemon, let's move on. This is actually the next story I want to talk about. Is just something that we forgot to mention last week during the show, but it was pretty big news. I don't know how we managed to forget it, but somewhere out there amongst the chaos, Amazon purchased Double Helix.
Yep.
Out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Brad?
Okay, this is really strange. So there's rumors that maybe Amazon's making its own console. There's also rumors that it might be Android based. But here's the thing. Company, even if they're making an Android based console, buying a studio like Double Helix is a big deal. Now, hey guys, stop watching the Pokemon.
Nothing's going on. All this, it's in democracy.
Nothing is ever
just keep
going
opening
on.
and closing
That doesn't
the
make it
menu.
any
Yeah,
less
the
addictive.
menu just keeps opening
He's
and
just
closing.
standing in the middle of nowhere, opening his menu. And
I think he's
closing.
in Cerulean City.
That's what's been happening for like a week. That doesn't make it any less
I'm
addictive
sorry.
to watch.
Double Helix, Amazon. Possible
I'm going to have
console,
to ask you to
possible
put the
Android
drugs
base.
away for a while.
I mean, it doesn't. Like I said, nothing's gonna happen. There's no point in me watching it. It's
Yet you're
just-
still watching it.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I
That's
can,
what I'm
I
saying
can
is
stop
the thing.
anytime I want.
What if something amazing happens in the
But no,
next
that's
second?
it's not going to. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was telling you. You're not gonna watch this and see progress happen. You're gonna come back in like 8 hours and maybe he's moved 10 steps.
I wonder if there's been like raids, like let's
Oh,
create
of
a
course.
start team where all we do we run in there and we spam start.
That's what they're doing right now.
Oh, it's a
That's all. The
start
democracy's
keep
won,
opening and
and so
closing.
every single time there's a vote, start wins,
Okay.
and just over and over and over and over and over. So even though democracy has won, the
It's
fucking
failing.
trolls still take over.
All right. So Double Helix.
Double Helix.
Here's the deal with Double Helix. Here's why it's a little crazy. Double Helix is right now a relatively like thanks.
I'm sorry.
It's a studio that people that are shipping games that are somewhat high profile. They have a rocky history. They've made a lot of shit. A lot of shit.
Have they made shit, Brad?
That From Mission Evolved, that game fucking fucked. They made the G.I. Joe game. They made the Green Lantern game. They made the Battleship movie game.
Oh, wow.
God damn.
Yeah,
That
they
was
made
supposed to
some
be pretty
shit.
good.
They also did Silent Hill Homecoming,
Which I wouldn't qualify as shit.
which Nick likes, but
I-
that is like their shining star in their gamography is the worst Silent Hill game. So,
Is it really the worst Silent Hill game?
Nick,
Give me a second.
Nicholas.
Give me a second.
are we counting Book of Memories?
No, well, that would definitely probably be the worst. Yeah, you're right.
I just want to say,
That's the worst.
It's
mainline.
in
Worst
the,
mainline entry in the series, yes.
in
But-
the, in the Battleship movie, the aliens' weapons were pegs.
But
Oh, yeah, they have like peg missiles and shit.
all right, listen. But here's the thing about Double Helix.
Yeah.
Classically shit studio.
Mhm.
Never forgive them for what they did to Front Mission. But their most recent game, well, there's a game that they're releasing tomorrow.
Mhm.
Strider. It's a reboot of Strider. It's a side-scrolling Metroidvania, which since the announcement, people have been relatively hyped. They're like, this looks good. This looks good. This is impressive. And it's getting pretty good reviews. And it comes out tomorrow. So it's like, wow, that's an impressive
What
game.
platforms?
Everything. Next gen, current gen, PC, everything. So I'm probably going to play it. A fucking double Helix game. Last year, they were responsible for one of Microsoft's most high-profile launch titles, Killer Instinct. They made Killer
that's right.
Instinct.
Oh, that's the most recent one I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
That, which Jeff can't stop playing.
Yeah.
Which that's the thing. It surprised people that and this was a big Microsoft first-party game that Double Helix made. That people were like, wow, like one, Killer Instinct doesn't suck, and two, Double Helix made it. That's weird. That's weird. So now you have this studio that is kind of turning things around seemingly, but they get bought by Amazon. This is like a real fucking video game developer. This isn't, some small, or they might be kind of small, but I'm saying you don't buy a video game developer like this unless you plan to get really damn serious about doing things with video games.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like when a company just wants to get in, like, I'm just making like Android-based console, they might hire some people, throw a studio together to make some junk. This is a studio that's been around for a long time, that's made some real games.
I think if Amazon wanted to just make a junk thing, they would hire in-house, because I'm sure they have plenty of developers that could, in a couple of weeks, put together an Android
without the need for having a recognized.
But I think
name.
if they're hiring buying an outside studio, it's not
with a reputation, whether it's good or bad.
It's no joke.
Not just that, but I bet there was an offer on. There might have been a time where Microsoft is like, maybe we should buy this studio.
Mm-hmm.
Because, this seems like a good fit for them. Killer Instinct probably did pretty well for them, Yeah. And for Microsoft doesn't have a lot of first-party studios. Maybe with the right budget, Double Helix can churn out some solid stuff.
Maybe giving them the right to make some stuff that's not licensed would be a good step for that studio. I feel like a lot of the shit they cranked out was because they were put in charge of making games based on Battleship.
They made shitty games based on equally shitty movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how serious is Amazon about could they make a real console?
I hope so. I think
I don't know if I want to see them make a console though.
I feel
like a digital only console,
I feel like
but a real console.
With a digital console,
like
I
a
see
platform,
Amazon going
a
like
platform,
like Steam?
Platform. Oh, okay.
No, like an actual console,
Like a box.
but with no physical retail.
So like an Ouya or something like that.
Yeah, but like more
Or Steam
powerful.
box.
Than
Well, obviously,
Ouya.
that's what I'm saying. Like a Steam box, like something you're not going to be putting games in, but something. Okay, now I guess I see where you're coming from. I don't see that out of the question. Amazon, they have a little bit of money, a little bit, and so I know a couple of people that work at Amazon. And so I know, they're constantly doing research on what's next. This fucking whole like drone delivery shit. They are constantly looking for what is the next big thing.
Get us a scoop.
He
doesn't work in there. Or
I think
of them work for their research. Their
for the
R&D.
longest time there was talk about maybe Apple's going to make a gaming console. And I feel like Amazon may have just swooped in and kind of taken the first
thing
big
is,
step.
Well, I don't think
Apple's
I don't think
really good at
Apple's
secrets. So if anything, who the fuck knows? They could be working on something.
Well, they could now, but I know as long as Steve Jobs had a voice in the operation of the company, he was very much against.
Yeah, he was
doing
against
any
it.
video
But he
games.
what was the thing? He was also against fucking mini tablets.
Oh, yeah.
He was against what I'm holding in my hand.
That's true. So
Steve Jobs was against.
we
an
don't
iPad
know
Mini.
we don't know where they're sitting right now with their plans.
Their view on that whole subject could have shifted pretty dramatically. I don't know. Either way, I think it's interesting. I never even really considered, honestly, Amazon as a contender for making the next, piece of gaming hardware, gaming
This
platform.
is how
So that's exciting.
first-party studios are made.
Mhm.
Like Sony bought Psygnosis or whatever when they launched the PlayStation, which became like one of their main first-party studios. This is how stuff happens. It I don't know. This is really weird. Could they buy some other studios? do we see like I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, what does that mean if they enter the console space? Does Amazon stop selling their competitors?
Oh,
A lot of people buy shit from Amazon.
I do now. I've pretty much shifted to ordering everything I get from.
Gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen because they probably have such huge lucrative contracts with them anyway that's where a lot of their cash flow is going to be coming from.
And not to mention, this is probably.
So I mean, why not sell your competitor shit just to make money to make your own shit that you're selling with them?
That's true, and not to mention,
Like
I feel like
if they promote their own stuff,
Yeah.
But if they end up coming out with their own platform or console, I don't think games on that platform are going to be the same games you can play on PS4 and Xbox One and all of their competitors.
Necessarily.
You think they'd try to occupy their own space?
Potentially. I mean, what if this platform is a platform where you can only play games made by first party Amazon studios?
So I also heard some crazy rumor from a dude who he's done a lot of who has some inside sources, and he's had some rumors that were true before. Who says there's a rumor that's saying Amazon was looking into buying the Xbox division from Microsoft.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was something about the Xbox or the Microsoft shareholders saying that they wanted them to cut Xbox loose altogether.
Because the gaming division of the Xbox division of Microsoft for the longest time has rarely been profitable, and even when it was profitable, it was not
pit for them.
Yeah, I mean,
well, that was the whole. That was, what's his name? Bill Gates. Like that was his thought process. That was his vision when he created Xbox. Was he didn't want it to be a profitable system. He wanted to create a gaming machine for people that was affordable and could give them the games they want. That's like I remember him when Xbox came out. That was what he was talking about. And because at the time Sony made so much off of they made money off the PS2, and then they made money off the games. And Microsoft lost a shit ton of money off each console they sold. And so that was a big deal at the time. Was that it seemed? I don't want to say it seemed like they cared, but it seemed like they weren't just in it for a profit or whatever. That's what it seemed like, I guess, at the time.
So Steve Jobs put forth the Xbox as like a
Bill Gates.
As like a what did I say?
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, Bill Gates. He put that forward as kind of like a philanthropic idea. Like, let's give the world awesome games.
I don't know. It's weird.
That would be crazy though.
What's gonna happen?
I don't see that act. I don't think.
What's next in the news, Nick?
Actually, that's it for the news this week. So, let's. Are you ready for? Wait, you look like you're.
I could have sworn.
I mean, there's other stuff that's kind of happening in the news.
I was trying to think of, but
hey, it's kind of the highlights.
Real quick,
Unsung Story.
Unsung Story hit its goal.
Yep, it did.
Unsung Story hit its goal on the last day. And
how much did it make on the last day? I remember on like the
in comparison,
like the dawn of that last day, you were like, "They're never gonna make this."
What was the final? It was like 600,000, and they ended with like
660, I think,
or 660.
660.
Yeah.
But the good news is that they've opened up for post Kickstarter. They've opened up PayPal donations and other ways to like
hit their stretch goals.
To
similar
potentially hit their stretch
how they're
goals.
still taking crowdfunding.
Which it's not even
are they is right now still like are they just looking at mobile right now, or are they actually...
No. Their goal, the
$600,000 goal
was
PC.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I don't think the other platforms are necessarily going to happen, but I do think they might hit their goal at 750 to get
the translation.
A.O. Smith and Joseph Reeder to do the translation, which
And you said these were the guys that did War of the Lions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which you
should see the difference
really
between
good.
the original Final Fantasy Tactics, where there certain characters had like names spelled 3 different ways throughout the course of the game. It's.
I mean, it's just like
it was a rough translation.
Yeah.
And now it's like this like fucking faux Shakespearean like.
I can't imagine that game originally being written in Japanese just because of how like dense and old a lot of the like syntax and the actual like vocabulary itself is.
But that's the thing. I mean that the way like you ever played Vagrant Story or seen Vagrant Story, like that translation, that old Englishness or whatever.
Yeah.
that was the translators who did that. But like the original games were very like straightforward, you know. So it's these translators like Alexander O. Smith, who for all these years he's the one, and his partner Joseph Reeder, he's the one that's turned these Matsuno scripts into these very like, you know, like.
I mean, it's almost like
intelligent scripts.
The dialogue's very like flowery prose, like it's
but it fits that setting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I told you, like Vagrant Story is the first fucking game I played with a dictionary next to me because it's like it seemed too smart for me. So yeah, it would be a big deal getting those guys to translate. So I'm just glad it hits goal. We'll see if that happens, and hey, at least it's coming to PC because fuck, dude, Melina recently got an iPad and like. Dude, the first thing I got was I downloaded Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm.
But the iPad version's so... I talked about this.
But the iPad version of the game has a Final Fantasy Tactics song that's not in the 3DS version. You can't even buy it.
What is the song? Is it one I would have encountered yet?
I think it's just the intro song. But the song that plays before the title screen, I believe. Wait, I don't know. No, it's one of the battle themes, but I don't recall. But I only played it once. I'm blanking. But oh yeah, so that's the first thing I bought. I paid 99 cents to play that song. It's just a bummer but it fucking sucks, dude. I hate touchscreen games. I fucking hate them. What are we talking about here?
That was the end of the news. I think we can go ahead and jump into community. Nolan looks like he's ready.
I am ready
for the community.
I'm very much ready.
Hit us up with the community.
So
Nolan.
Still a little bit of February left.
Still a little bit.
February. Which means our subscribers a month is still turned to gold.
Mm-hmm.
And the game Turn to Gold chose was Medieval.
That was a very pitiful sounding kazoo there, bro.
Yeah. And you might want to tune into the site this week because there might be some Medieval played by the subscriber of the month.
A special?
What?
Wait, how is this happening? Is this a new thing we're doing for subscribers, or we're inviting them over to our houses to have them play the subscriber of the month game with us
every month?
That's exactly what's happening, Brad.
So we're just gonna start flying people to Texas to play.
They have to fly themselves.
We've made enough money from subscriber money to start flying people out here.
Courteous of us.
In all seriousness, though, we'll probably be playing Medieval on the feed this week.
Cool.
I think probably on Saturday. I don't know what time we're gonna do this.
I thought we were doing. Yeah.
Oh, maybe
not
Sunday.
Saturday.
Probably Sunday.
Not Saturday.
Yeah.
We've got that thing with the guy over where.
Oh, by the thing.
Yeah.
The orgy.
Yeah.
Oh, how could I forget about the orgy?
Sundays
of course.
Are when I'm
naked it's every third weekend.
Of course.
Saturday is a real Bradder day.
Anyways, she's probably gonna sit there and tell me all the mistakes. I was playing Medieval the other day on the feed, and I was.
Is she all MLG about Medieval?
Yeah, she's all MLG. Oh man. Sci-Fi
right,
says
ahead,
ship
Noel.
me to Texas.
Okay. I was waiting on y'all to finish your little happy dance. All right. On Jason K gave us a donation on February 13th.
Mm-hmm.
He donated a birthday cake to me.
Where's my kazoo? Okay. Everybody shut up.
All right, so moving on. Now it's time for Chatter of the Week.
God, this is the worst idea we've ever had.
This is the part of the show where we pit two chatters against each other in an all-out brawl of how much they actually love us. And
is that what it's about?
Well, I mean,
it is.
Why else would they admit such terrible secrets to us? I'm surprised how many such shocking things have come out of this segment over the years.
My dad beats me. You are gay.
And also, you are gay.
And also, you are gay.
All right, moving on. So our first chatter this week is Moses from Kentucky. Moses 526 in chat.
Kentucky.
Moses' shameful secret. As a kid, going against Mike Tyson in Punch-Out used to make me so frustrated I would cry. To this day, I still have never beaten that game, but would love to give it another shot. A shot at the title.
Well, speaking of which, Little Mac
Yep.
Smash
That
Brothers.
was something else in the news this week. This little map
That
was
was great.
announced for Super Smash Brothers. Yeah.
Cool.
And he's fast.
Yeah, fast. And also, like, apparently.
He has that like
better
knockout
be.
ability.
Yeah,
Like once he charges up that little meter, if he hits somebody, like it
It's a
instantly
KO,
knocks them
yeah.
out.
And I think all his he's narrated by Doc too, like in the actual
Oh,
game.
yeah.
Wow.
Which is cool.
All right, Moses' greatest gaming achievement. Earning the Platinum Trophy for Shadow of the Colossus HD.
Ooh,
Nice.
damn.
Fuck hard time attack mode.
Got the parachute.
I can't
Yeah.
even imagine that
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Mike did it.
Yeah.
Parachute.
Moses' top 5 games of all time. Number 5, Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Mm.
Number 4, The Last of Us.
Yes.
Number 3, Super Mario.
64.
I'm gonna go 64.
Whiplash.
Sunshine?
64.
Uh,
His number 2 game of all time is Final Fantasy.
9.
7.
I always say 9
7.
because I hope.
I'm
Secretly
gonna
hope.
go Tactics.
7.
Damn.
And his number 1 game of all time is Shadow
Of the Colossus. I was about to say
Of the Damned.
Shadow the
Hedgehog.
Shadow Tower.
Shadow Hearts.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Shadow of the
Shadow
Colossus.
Madness.
Moses also writes, "Thank you guys. You and the community have always been great to me.
You're welcome, Moses.
Yay.
Yeah. You are welcome." And Moses is up against Jordan D808 from Alexandria, Virginia.
He was in chat a while ago. Do you email them every week to let them know they're going to be on the show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Jordan
was about
sounds
to say.
cool.
Male, age 20. He likes long walks on the beach. I'm just kidding. That's not there. Shameful secret. I once had an allergic reaction to some antidepressant medication I was taking
God.
towards the end of my senior year in high school. You can reveal the quote-unquote toxic reaction that my doctor said I had made me start hallucinating.
Oh, God.
The hallucination started out small with me seeing shadows moving in my peripheral vision.
Oh, that's
Then it moved
terrifying.
on to being able to taste colors. As these
I've heard that
hallucinations
before.
became weirder and weirder,
Purple's the best taste.
some of my hallucinations became related to the video games I was playing at the time.
Anesthesia.
Portal 2 made me think that the government and or space aliens were going to kidnap me and send me to the moon.
Sure.
And at the hospital, I expected necromorphs to burst out of the walls and the ceiling once because I played Dead Space 2. Thankfully, I didn't see the Dead Space 2 stuff in my actual hallucinations.
What did you
I was only anticipating them. I spent another 2 months in a psych ward, and now I'm totally healthy with no need to take antidepressants anymore.
Holy fuck.
That shit got crazy.
That's a
I
shameful secret.
guess that did kind of tie into video games.
Yeah. He's... whatever.
See what I'm talking about? This is the kind of shit that I'm talking about.
Greatest gaming achievement. Beating FTL on normal with every ship and ship variant.
Fuck that guy.
I've beaten it 38 times out of 361 total games played, including both easy and normal playthroughs, with a lifetime total of 4,104 ships defeated so far as of me writing this email back in like October.
Oh, that's
So yeah,
fucked.
Jesus Christ, that's pretty fucking impressive.
You should see the
the new
FTL
room,
updates.
the new room that they're adding. They're adding a clone tank. You can grow your own crew members.
What?
Dude,
That's
they're
sweet.
adding more than that. There's like hacking and shit out there.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
crazy.
man.
Anyway,
Oh,
continue.
Jordan D808's top 5 games of all time.
Someone in chat just goes, Jordan wins.
Number 5, Super Mario.
Sunshine.
64 all the way.
Sunshine. World.
Sunshine.
Oh! Oh!
Don't blow, Crispy. There you go.
There we go.
Number 4, Splinter Cell.
Conviction.
No, Chaos Theory.
Blacklist. I'm
Always
just kidding.
Chaos
It's not
Theory.
Blacklist. I wasn't
I
even
know.
out.
I know. what
It's
it
Chaos
should be.
Theory.
I'm gonna go with Chaos Theory as well.
Chaos Theory.
Fucking Blacklist.
Number 3,
Might as well just say Conviction.
I
Monster
did say
Rancher
Conviction.
2. Number 2, FTL Faster Than Light. And number 1 is Team Fortress
2.
Classic.
2.
By the way, Brad, fuck you.
Wait, what did I say? I don't even remember.
Splinter Cell Blacklist is amazing, and you never fucking played it.
Jordan also notes, by the way,
But
the
it's no
first
one's
video
favorite
of
game.
you guys I ever saw before listening to your podcast was the Call of Cthulhu Bolt the Doors video.
That was the scariest moment of my
Classic
entire
moment of Nick
four-player
not being
career.
able to play video games.
That was the scariest moment of my gaming career.
All right, so we have Moses versus Jordan. What do you guys think? Moses had the Tyson Punch-Out Shadow of the Colossus on HD On hard mode, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Last of Us, Super Mario 64, Final Fantasy VII, Shadow of the Colossus, and Jordan hallucinating, beating FTL, Super Mario Sunshine, Splinter Cell, Chaos Theory, Monster Ranch 2, FTL, and TF2.
You know what? I'm gonna give it to Jordan solely for FTL. The whole hallucination thing, while fucking terrible, I don't know why that's like that wasn't. It's not like, ooh, I accidentally hallucinated for 2 months and spent that much time in a psych ward or whatever. That just happened to him. Didn't really have much to do with video games.
I'm gonna give it to Jordan too, because he's crazy, and we don't pick him, he's gonna kill me. I'm just kidding, Jordan. We're all healthy. Get healthy, bro.
He is healthy.
Well, he said
He is healthy now, bro.
He ended it with,
Thank
I'm
God.
totally healthy with no need to take antidepressants anymore, except
I'm
for now that
completely
Brad said I'm not
100%
healthy.
normal now.
I'm going to give it to Moses just because Super Mario 64 is better than Sunshine. In my
That's
opinion.
true,
In my
that's
opinion.
true.
Although
No,
I respect Jordan's opinion that he enjoys Sunshine
I
a
would
lot.
say if you're rating Super Mario games, though, Sunshine's a lot higher than some of the other ones,
True.
in my opinion.
I would take Sunshine over just about any of the most recent. Well, I don't know. I don't want to go down that path. Anyways,
it's
and also
debatable.
for bringing up The Last of Us, just because we talked about that earlier in the show, and I just remember this last night playing Left Behind, just how much I fucking love that game.
And I'm
pretty
going to
good.
give it to Jordan because I'm another FTL player, and I
Yay.
realize what an accomplishment that is.
Well,
So
I tried
congratulations,
Moses.
Jordan. You are the winner.
Congratulations.
Brad, tell him what he's won.
That's my Free Willy song.
So
Wait,
what did Jordan win, Brad?
The Michael Jackson song from Free
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe you remembered that.
I just heard it last night.
Why?
When I was watching Free Willy!
Hey, I'll just have you know,
his
when I was a
nightly
kid,
Free
I
Willy
loved
watch?
that movie.
No,
I don't even remember
I was
that.
at pub trivia last night, and that was one of the audio rounds.
Okay,
Oh, my
that's a little
Lord.
better.
I heard it last night. I can't. What the fuck?
So congratulations, Jordan. If any of you listening or watching would like to be Chatter of the Week, simply send an email to Nolan Hedstrom.
Say your last
What
name.
the fuck?
correctly.
Yeah, Nolan Hedstrom at
You're
4Player
drunk,
Network.
Nolan,
Yeah,
go
let me tell you
home.
about it. Fucking drunk on Kazoos. At 4playernetwork.com. Include your name in chat, where you're from, perhaps pronunciation of your name, maybe if you're male or female, maybe. Include your shameful secret, possibly related to gaming. That's nice. Your greatest gaming achievement, and your top 5 games of all time. And you too could enter and win the big win and become Chatter of the Week.
Asterisk. Thank you, Brad. Asterisk. We are, as you mentioned before, we're just now getting through October's emails. So
I'm pretty sure that was from October. I can
We
double
go in
check the
order.
exact date. Well, yeah, I go in the order in which they were received, and so I know I received one like 2 days ago, and so obviously theirs isn't going to get read for a little while, but I mean it will get read eventually, and I can tell you right now the exact date that was from once I click on Chatter of the Week, and then I scroll down. Jordan sent me this email on October 18th.
okay, so we're making our way slowly but surely through October. If you submit your chatter for the week, it will eventually be on the show. Just you must be patient. So now is the time to wrap up the show. Before we do that, before we do the 4-player minute, as we always do, I want to go take a second to remind everybody to please check us out at 4playernetwork.com, bookmark us. Check us out there. We post stuff all the time, and we have videos, or we stream every single night over at 4pp.tv. That's kind of our thing. We've been doing that for a very long time. You can always find us streaming stuff every single day. And of course, please, if you like the show, if you listen to it on the go, find us on iTunes and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. And leave us a review. If you like the show and you want to let us know what you think, please take a second to stop on by iTunes and leave us a review. And we'd love you forever if you did that. Oh, and last reminder, please go vote in the poll if you want to If you want to vote, we're doing the top 10 moments, 4-player moments of 2013, and we're going to be releasing a top 10 video that's dictated by you guys. It's going to be up through Friday, so please visit the site, click on the link at the top left corner, pick your 10 favorite moments. There's 100 to choose from. Pick your 10 favorites, and we'll put together that video next week. But now, we are going to wrap up the show with the 4-player minute. We say something we are hyped about, our sweat, something we're worried about, our thank you for the week, and our fuck you for the week. Those two speak for themselves.
Yay.
Brad always starts us off.
Alrighty then. My sweat is for Saturday. I
am doing something potentially stupid.
Okay, it's really stupid. As of now,
So we all agree it's stupid. I'm kidding.
I plan to do... I don't know exactly when it's going to start. And I will give you the details in a video that's probably coming out tomorrow. But I'm going to be doing a real Bradder Day for 24 hours. I'm going to do a 24-hour marathon, gaming marathon. I haven't done it since the release of GTA 5. I think I made it through that okay. But now the details about what I'm going to play will be released soon. So look for this video. It's going to be starting Saturday morning. And going to be going to Sunday morning, as that's how marathons go.
Yeah.
So look forward to details on that. But that's my sweat, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it, but it's going to be exciting. My hype is I'm kind of hyped for the new Thief.
Me
Is that
too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Is that
excited.
okay?
Why are you asking us?
I don't know. That's also maybe a sweat.
You're the one that's probably played more Thief than any of us combined.
Yeah, but
You know why I'm getting excited for it? Because I've been playing a lot of
It's been a long
RPGs lately, and I just want to play a good old
fashion stealth game
good old
from the
like
90s?
first person
I
action type, like
Okay.
something that's not driven by menus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been digging through a lot of menus lately. I just want to play something that's like
just
action
want to
based.
steal some shit sometimes.
Don't stop saying action. Say stealth. You're freaking me out here.
No, you know what I mean. I'm not
Stealth action.
sure.
Stealth.
Staction.
I'm not using action to talk about like high octane, like fast paced gameplay. I'm talking about just like
Okay.
something where you're freely moving about and you're
I
putting.
watched a gameplay demonstration on YouTube that was like non-commentated or anything, and it was a dude playing it like super stealthy, and it was just one room that a guy was like looking at some table, and he'd walk around to another side of the room, and they'd do something else, and he'd come back around, and this guy like stole everything in this room with this one guy just walking around it. And it was like, I guess it was kind of intense, and it was like very
There was,
thiefy,
like-
but he just had to knock that guy out.
There was a
And he
guard
could've-
walking around.
Yeah, or just
And-
a dude in there.
So like this dude just walk over to a table and then turn around and like everything from this side of the room's gone.
Yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
turns back
No,
around
it
over
was
here and
exactly
everything's
kinda
gone
like
over
that.
here. And then he turns around and the room's gone. And he turns back and he's like standing on a foundation of a building with just like the table.
Well, you got Looney Tunes pretty quick.
That's how
But
Thief
sure,
works.
I'm just saying, like even in the original Thief, you would have just knocked the dude out.
Yeah.
I feel like they're kind of overdoing it. Like it's like Thief, guys. It's like
I think it'd be better if when he turned back he wasn't wearing pants and he just had boxers with hearts on them.
And then those were gone.
I mean, it's just
all right.
Then you're playing Rust.
My fuck you. No, my thank you goes to all the people who've been voting in my Your Way Bradder Day polls. There's a new poll up. Someone could post the link in chat. I'd appreciate it. But this is kind of a face-off of two games that have done pretty well in the past few Your Way Bradder Day polls. So please go vote. It's a one-on-one bout, and it's pretty close. So go pick the game you want to see me play on Thursday. That's happening Thursday, not part of my marathon. So go vote for Your Way Bradder Day, which is happening Thursday night. And my fuck you for this week goes to Mercury Steam. Just because, you know what? Maybe they're not going to be around forever. They're not going to be making Castlevania forever. Next week, Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 comes out. So let's just give them one last fuck you before I finally sit down and play this game.
Hey Brad,
And
apparently Strider's out on PSN.
Well, it's too late because it would take forever to download off of PSN. But, yeah. So, fuck you, Mercury
Hey, by the way,
Steam.
don't let me forget.
Thanks for fucking up Castlevania, and thank you that you're done. Go fuck yourself.
Hey, don't let me forget the thing over there.
Oh yeah.
We'll
That's
do that
after the show.
You don't want to do it on the podcast?
That thing is.
There's quite a visual element.
Oh, okay. I guess we'll do it after the show.
Yeah, video podcast.
I mean, whatever.
We could describe it.
I guess so.
Anyways, Nolan, take it away.
All right. My 4-player minute, because that's what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Starts right now. My hype is for fucking South Park and the Stick of Truth. They
Did you
released
watch
some.
all the new
They
stuff?
released
Yeah.
some new video that like the first
my
13
God.
minutes of the game. Oh my
was so
god!
funny.
I loved every fucking second of it. I can't wait to pay $60 for this game. You know what? I'm gonna buy the collector's edition. I'm gonna pay $80 for this game because it's worth it,
Yeah,
and
the
I think you
fucking-
should pay $60, and you should.
I've already
and everyone
pre-ordered.
should.
I'm paying
You
$60
pre-ordered
for it.
It's a fucking wizard Cartman.
Yeah,
figure.
it's worth $100, and they're gonna get every penny they deserve. Because
Nolan,
it is
I want
such a good
I
game.
want you to know that was the best possible way you could have handled that situation.
Well, that's because the game is so good. It's going to be a fantastic game, and it deserves all the money it's going to get.
I don't think either one of these people in the room here understand what's happening,
Yeah,
but
no,
I
no,
understand. I am right there with you.
What is happening?
It's a great game. Do you not think it's going to be a great game?
I hope so.
Well, yeah. It's worth $60, right? I mean, it's going to be a full-fledged
AAA product.
Obsidian AAA game.
Is it not $60?
No,
What
it's
is
it's $60.
Yeah.
What
it is.
Nolan's
So anyway,
paying more?
moving on. My
Wait,
sweat.
are you gonna pick the Jew class?
That's I don't know. So I mean, a mage is like a wizard, but not as cool. But if I'm a Jew, I can't be friends with Cartman. But I've never heard of a white thief, so I don't know.
Oh, that game's gonna be so fun.
It's gonna be so good. All right. Anyway, my sweat. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze comes out on Friday on the Wii U. And honestly, it looks kind of good.
It does.
It looks
The
like
reviews
a
are-
really fucking good Donkey Kong game.
Me and Malia are gonna play it.
And so, like, are you game flying it?
I can't. Fucking GameFly, dude.
So it's not in Redbox.
I
How are you
can't
gonna
add
get
a
it?
slot.
How are
I
you gonna
can't-
get it?
I think I might just buy it. I can't add a slot. Fucking GameFly. You can't. add
The
a
problem is, and it's coming to me from GameFly, which means I'll get it like the end of next week. And so I really wanted to play it because like I'm just excited. There's co-op. The fucking platforming looks great. It looks good. I mean, I don't know, but I'm worried just because I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because I was kind of debating on whether I should buy it or not.
How much are we? Are they not 60? Are they?
They're 50, I think.
No, there's 60.
Oh, they're 60.
Oh my god.
I know, right? That game doesn't deserve to be $60. It's a cartoon game. Why should that game be $60?
Scrolling.
So anyway, moving on.
My God.
My fuck you goes to Sony, the Sony Entertainment Corporation, whatever the fuck they're called, because fuck you, the 12 gigabyte PS3 on the box, it says no hard drive included. That's fine. I have a hard drive. I'll just pop it in. Well, guess what? It doesn't say it doesn't include, and it doesn't include a fucking mounting bracket for your hard drive. Sold fucking separately. You find out when you open the fucking package and there's not one in there.
He put his hard drive in the system without a mounting bracket for like a couple days, and he had it sitting upright with the hard
As
drive.
long as I didn't jostle it, it'd be
kind of
fine.
just floating there, just like jiggling around until he
But
until
yeah,
he got the
fuck
mount.
you, Sony, for not putting a fucking 10-cent piece of metal inside your goddamn console.
No one is resilient that
Hey, it's
way.
fucking ridiculous. I mean, I guess I can see that you couldn't just have screws floating around in there, but all they would fucking need is one extra piece of metal for the screw to go into, and you could just get rid of that. I mean, there's a lot of fucking solutions, but they're dicks for not including it, in my opinion. Or at least not explicitly saying it on the box. All it says is no hard drive. It didn't say no mounting bracket. And you can buy the mounting bracket on their website for $10. That's not bad. But it's fucking back ordered for like 3 weeks or something like that. So I had to buy it from a third party on Amazon. I got it in a couple days. But I mean, they're losing money from, I don't know. Anyway, that's my fuck you.
As you can imagine, Nolan's Thursday night or Friday night, their night was frustrating.
Oh, yeah, it was a frustrating couple of days, let me tell you. I told you that the baking thing at my work.
Yes, that was hilarious. I saw your
Second place.
I saw
By
your
3
face.
votes, though.
Oh,
And that just makes it so much worse because I was so fucking close to winning.
Bacon.
he got second place out of 2.
And so the thing was, I don't know if I told you, last year, like nobody was entering, but then one of the managers was like, you know what? Top 3 people get a day off of work. And then the fucking everyone's entering. And then this year, I assumed that was a prize, but it wasn't.
It's like a bake-off.
And I guess everyone else was aware it wasn't. So yeah, there were 2 people in this baking competition. And I had like 80 little, they're Oreo truffles. Essentially, it's like Oreo with some cream cheese and then like dipped in chocolate. And everyone loved them. And then the lady next to me had like 150 fucking like these little like just cut up pieces of cake. But just because I eventually ran out, I couldn't get any more fucking
What
votes.
a bitch.
And so I run out of food, and she still has like 70 fucking little things over here. And I'm like, well, I lose, but apparently I only lost by 3 votes. Anyway, fuck you to her too.
Happy birthday, Nolan.
Yeah, it was a good day. And then I don't think I have a thank you this week. I'm not really.
Fuck everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had another fuck you. It probably could have gone to. What was it? I had it and I lost it.
If you remember, we'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Anyways,
That's it.
Crispy.
Oh, okay. My hype is, actually, I was watching some trailers for this, and it kind of makes me want to get a PS4. I mean, not specific. Like, I wouldn't buy a PS4 just to play this game, but I would definitely want to play this game if I had one. The Witness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Looks fucking pretty.
Well, that's PC as well, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is, isn't
Yeah,
it?
she got
Oh, yeah.
It's
PC.
such a weird game though, because
But-
they're like maze puzzles. And...
Yeah, it looks interesting, but like I don't know. I want to try it. I think it could be cool. My sweat is actually for everything in Titanfall that we haven't seen yet. Is for the stuff that the beta didn't cover. Like I want to know how much bigger the game is.
You want to know
than
how
that.
deep
I
the
wanna
rabbit
know,
hole
I want to
goes.
know how deep it goes. Yes, I mean there are, people have been saying things like, oh well, there's not really that much in-depth characters. There's not really that much story or anything going on there. But some of these character designs, like some of these control characters or whatever, that these NPCs that they've
The
been
grunts and the
no,
reapers or whatever.
like the controllers, like the people who like talk to you.
Oh yeah.
Like they
yeah.
get featured a lot, especially in the marketing and everything. So much so to the point that I'm thinking like there has to be something with these characters going on. There's got to be some kind of narrative tying these characters all together.
That's interesting.
So I hope that isn't more than just an afterthought to them. My thank you for the week actually goes to is going to be to From Software for adding voice chat in Dark Souls 2. Now this isn't like particularly like breaking news or
Well, it's
anything.
not straight up voice chat though.
Well, they have some kind of
You
like
have to- it's a
when you're
ring.
co-opt.
You
you
have to
have
wear
like,
a ring.
yeah, but and you have to be like it can only be between like somebody that you summoned into your world cooperatively. But I was actually doing a little bit of co-op in Air Orlando. And I just realized that like being like there was kind of this charm to, my only form of communication with this other person outside of like opening up the fucking Xbox message send thing is just the little gestures I can
waving
do.
at them.
Yeah, and just putting on my pyromancer flame and like doing this over and over again. That's the only real interaction I ever had with any of these people. That it actually might be nice to be able to talk to them, especially when you're doing a boss fight like Ornstein and Smo, where the order in which you kill the boss might matter to the person that you're helping.
Yeah.
It might be nice for them to have an easy way just to say, hey, kill Smo first or kill Ornstein first, instead of having to send you a fucking message or like try to indicate with their actions, So that was kind of cool. And my fuck you for the week goes to Gafgarian. Because fuck that guy. I didn't realize he was going to turn on me so fucking quickly. I got a little
that's tactics
suspicious.
thing.
I got a little suspicious when I saw that he was like, what was his character's class is like Dread Knight or something. It's something that sounds evil, and I was like, huh. That doesn't seem so
It's
trustworthy.
like a Dark Knight or something.
Yeah, I think in the War of the Lions, it's like Dread Knight or something. It's something sinister sounding. It might as well have just been Evil Poop Face, because he turns you on you really quickly. And the worst part is I didn't realize that I could just take all of his shit
Oh yeah.
and keep it before he did that.
Yeah, before he turns on, you just take all.
So
his
I didn't
crap.
do that. So I don't know if I have a save set up close enough to that fight to go back and take all
Well,
that
you should
shit.
because you should be altering.
I have been
saves after
altering-
every battle.
I have
Every
I have
battle.
3 save files going right now. I just don't know if I saved over that one when I finish that battle or not. Anyway,
Oh man.
we'll see.
Oh man. Keep going.
We'll see.
Playing Wednesday.
Fuck
right?
that guy. Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. Now,
That guy. What?
I'm going to go
Playing
real quick.
Wednesday, right?
Yeah, I'm playing Wednesday.
I'm going to go real quick. My hype is for Titanfall. I played the beta. I liked it. I didn't play a whole lot of it. I didn't have much time, but it does control beautifully, and I like the gameplay a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. It's very satisfying in the same way that Call of Duty was, or Modern Warfare was. And I'm looking forward to an excuse to pick up an Xbox One, because I knew I was eventually going to get one, and I knew from the beginning that's probably going to be the game that pushed me over the edge. So I'll probably have an Xbox One within the next month or two. My sweat goes to Dark Souls 2, because I am going to be playing that when it comes out. I don't know if I'll stick with it, but Nolan tweeted a video at me today, and I watched it, and it kind of got me a little more comfortable with the idea of starting with Dark Souls 2 instead of playing 1, instead of feeling obligated to play 1 first. So, I'm excited, but obviously I'm wary. It's a daunting task.
It is.
My fuck you for the week goes to the time limit in Lightning Returns.
Is it brutal?
No, it's not.
It's stupid.
No, it's not even stupid. Like, I do like that element. It's a
But
unique
you just wanna
element.
fuck it, like in the mouth.
No, that would imply that I like it.
You just said you liked it.
Well, I do like it. See,
So
I'm
why
torn.
do you want to fuck
I'm
it?
torn. It's just I haven't been playing the game long enough and seen and had a really good the days are long. Like, they are quite long. I just haven't. I get stressed because there are certain things that are only accessible at certain times of the day.
So it's like Majora's Mask.
Like Majora's Mask, and I liked Majora's Mask, but I have forgotten how stressful it can be. And I'm to the point where I have 5 days left. I'm on the first boss of the game, and I know that I have to go grind. And grinding in a game with a time limit is stressful. And my thank you this week goes to Naughty Dog. Straight up, they crafted one hell of a game with The Last of Us. They followed it up with one hell of a piece of DLC, and they managed to basically confirm to me that those characters, Joel and, well, for the most part from this DLC, Ellie, among my favorite characters in gaming ever.
I think through The Last of Us, you get to see Joel a whole lot more than Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
You get to see where he came from and how he came to be. I mean, information about him that Ellie doesn't quite know, and so why he's making the decisions. And it's almost to the point where you're also kind of making those decisions.
Yeah.
You knew a little less about Ellie, so I like that they did this because you got to see.
I feel like I know Ellie
Ellie
just as much as I know
Exactly.
Joel now, which is great. But man,
We got through this whole show and we didn't mention anything about The Order. Did you watch the
I haven't
footage?
watched it yet. No.
About the 30 frames a second.
Yeah, that's not what I'm concerned about. What I'm
I
concerned
know.
about is it looks like a pretty generic third-person shooter with
It does.
quick time events. So you should watch that.
I will watch it. I've heard it's only like 3 minutes long or something like that, though, right?
Yeah,
It's a pretty
but
small
it's
slice.
gameplay. I'll go into detail on Trailer Talk this week.
All right. So before we close out, did you want to do that now?
I remember my fuck you.
Oh, what was it?
It's the fucking Manos, dick in his hands, or whatever the fuck his name is.
The Hands of Fate.
Hands of
Yeah,
Fate.
Manos Hands of Dick Face.
Somebody sent
The
us.
the boss from Dark Souls 2 DLC. Well, there's
That's the guy that I saw.
Yeah.
What's his
Careful
face?
with
there's,
that near
there's
the
a
mic.
letter.
I know. It's in here, right?
No, I think it's in my email.
Oh, open the letter. I was looking for the letter before.
Yeah, hold on, let me pull it up real quick.
What?
Should we do this off the...
Yeah, let's wrap up.
Wrap up the
whatever.
podcast and we'll still do it live.
It'll be on the video.
If you're listening right now, you can go and check out the video on YouTube and you'll be able to see what we're unwrapping a gift from.
From Reborn Revolution, one of our
Yes.
esteemed community members.
I thought it was just a letter, but it's not.
So thank you guys for listening. Obviously, if you're watching us live over at 4pp.tv, stick around. We'll be playing some more Titanfall for New Release Tuesday. And thank you, everybody who subscribed. That's your cue, guys. I really hate this idea that we had. And of course, we'll be back next Tuesday night, same time, same place, with another podcast talking about video games. And you can catch us You can catch us live every night at 4pp.tv. We'd love to have you. We'll see you later.
Bye, guys.